Chapter 2646. Book 1, Chapter 91. Battle. The experts on the viewing platforms looked quite serious and could not help but ask, "Who is he?" Bai Lang and Red Core looked at Bing Qingqing. They felt that Bing Qingqing was familiar with Zhao Fu and most likely knew who Zhao Fu was. They now felt that Zhao Fu was not as simple as Hong Yin's friend. Bing Qingqing did not know about Zhao Fu's #1 evil celestial bloodline's power, so she did not know how Zhao Fu could go up. As for Zhao Fu having such terrifying power, they were not too surprised, as they had been defeated by Zhao Fu. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out, interrupting everyone's thoughts. The stone door gave off an even greater power, forming an even stronger defensive barrier. Zhao Fu once again raised a sword and sent a massive wave of power into it, causing it to give off boundless black light and a destructive power to spread out. Everyone in the surroundings felt a massive might and felt a trace of terror. Xing! A massive sword hum sounded out as Zhao Fu's sword gave off a destructive power as it slashed against the defensive barrier. The defensive barrier trembled and many cracks appeared on it before it completely shattered with a bang. The second barrier, which seemed to be unbreakable, was once again easily shattered by Zhao Fu. Everyone could not help but cry out. They felt that this person was incredibly powerful and was an unimaginably powerful existence. Shui Changkong looked quite confused and felt quite discouraged. He had not been able to break through the second barrier, while this person had done it so easily. The expressions of the other factions who had come to watch the show became serious. When had such a terrifying person appeared in Snatching Valley? The experts sitting at the center could not take it anymore and called Bing Qingqing and the others over as they asked, "Just who is he?" Bing Qingqing did not tell them who Zhao Fu was and only told them that Zhao Fu was Hong Yin's friend. She also told them that she had obtained the Snatching Valley sword from Zhao Fu. Hearing Bing Qingqing's words, the others' expressions became even more serious. They all felt that Zhao Fu had something to do with Snatching Valley, or else the Snatching Valley sword would not have fallen into his hands. They would not have been so excited as if they had seen their owner. But who was this person? They had never seen such a person before. Could it be? Suddenly, they realized that the person in front of them might be related to the #1 expert. Otherwise, there was no way to explain the current situation. Heilana looked at Zhao Fu's back with shock and asked Ziyin, "Who is he?" Ziyin smiled proudly. "I won't tell you." Heilana snorted. "Why tell me? His identity is not simple, right?" Shui Changkong was also looking at Ziyin. He was also very curious about Zhao Fu. Ziyin smiled. "Of course. To be able to be our man. How could he be ordinary?" Heilana said unhappily. "Can't you just reveal some information about him?" Ziyin lightly smiled and said, "All right, let me tell you one thing. He is someone we cannot afford to offend." Heilana was not too surprised as she stared at Zhao Fu. Shui Changkong was startled. He had almost clashed with Zhao Fu previously. Now that he had personally witnessed Zhao Fu's strength and heard about Zhao Fu's identity, he felt a little afraid. Boom! A massive explosion once again sounded out as an even greater power flowed out, forming an even firmer barrier. It gave off a massive might, and everyone in the surroundings felt a great pressure. Countless people looked at Zhao Fu, hoping that Zhao Fu would be able to break through the third barrier. Zhao Fu looked at the barrier in front of him and slowly raised his sword, sending a massive amount of power into it. Xing! A massive sword hum sounded out as the sword shot out a black sword into the sky, forming a slender black sword pillar. A massive sword wind blew out, and sensing this terrifying power, the heavens and earth started to go through changes. Boom! Zhao Fu raised his sword and slashed downwards. The black sword pillar gave off a power that seemed to be able to split the heavens and earth as it slashed forwards, and nothing could stop it. Bang! A massive explosion once again sounded out as the black pillar of light slashed against the sturdy energy barrier. The barrier gave off a powerful resistance, but it only lasted for a moment before collapsing, and a shock wave blasted the surrounding rocks away. The third barrier had been destroyed by Zhao Fu, and everyone excitedly cried out. They had thought that this event had failed and that no one would be able to break through the third barrier. They had never thought that Zhao Fu would be able to do it. The person in front of them was simply too powerful, and he was much more powerful than Shui Changkong. The other factions felt incredibly shocked, and they felt that Zhao Fu was a peerless genius. If he became the Valley Lord, they would be in a dangerous situation. They did not know that Zhao Fu was not a peerless genius, but an existence that reigned above all other peerless geniuses. The experts on the viewing platforms all had complicated expressions. They should have been happy that someone had broken through the third barrier, but Zhao Fu's identity was too mysterious, and they could not be sure. Hong Yin walked over to Zhao Fu and smiled as she said, "Congratulations, husband." Ziyan also smiled as she said, "Husband, you're so powerful." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded before raising the sword in his hand and smiling at Hong Yin as he said, "You tried your best to protect this sword, but now it seems to have recognized me as its master." Hong Yin said embarrassedly, "That's because I didn't know how powerful husband was. If I had known, I would have given the sword to you immediately." Zhao Fu laughed as he said, "I'm going in now." Hong Yin smiled as she said, "Be careful, husband." Zhao Fu stabbed the surrounding swords into the cracks in the stone door, causing it to shine with boundless light and a massive ripple to spread out. The stone door slowly opened, and light shined from within, making it impossible to see what was inside. Zhao Fu walked in and disappeared, and the others could not enter and could only watch from the outside. Looking at Zhao Fu's disappearing figure, Shui Changkong felt a bit lonely. He understood that he could not compare to Zhao Fu. Everyone was discussing Zhao Fu's identity, wondering if he would obtain the #1 expert's inheritance and become the next master. Most people supported Zhao Fu because they had seen how powerful Zhao Fu was. The elder sitting in the middle said solemnly, "Now that he's entered the treasury, we have to figure out his identity when he comes out." The middle-aged man nodded. "This person is too mysterious, and I can sense that he's not simple. I hope that he'll be beneficial to us in seizing the valley." Bing Qing watched as Zhao Fu walked in and smiled. Zhao Fu's plan had succeeded, and he had not wasted any time. Moreover, he was not worried about Zhao Fu being in danger. If it came down to it, he could just tell everyone that Zhao Fu was the primal chaos child, and no one would dare to harm such an existence. Chapter 26:47. Book 1. Zhao Fu. After passing through the stone doors, Zhao Fu came to a very large stone cave. There were all sorts of gold, silver, and jewels all around him, giving off brilliant lights and making people feel incredibly moved. At the center was a stone stage that was 3 meters tall, and there was a sword groove at the center. Zhao Fu was not interested in those treasures, and he curiously walked to the stage. He had heard that there was a legacy left behind by the #1 expert in the valley. This stage was most likely the place to obtain the legacy. A higher being's legacy was not important to Zhao Fu, and Zhao Fu mainly wanted to obtain the primal chaos fate from the legacy. Zhao Fu could fuse with all sorts of bloodlines in the outer world, but if he wanted to awaken the outer world supreme emperor star, he would need a massive amount of fate. Zhao Fu stabbed the sword into the sword groove on the stage, and boundless blood-red sword light shined out. The magic formations on the stage were activated, and a shocking aura spread out. A figure appeared in front of Zhao Fu. It was a woman with long, blood-red hair and a well-built figure, and she gave off a powerful battle intent. Zhao Fu looked at the woman in front of him and said, "Are you a sword spirit or the #1 expert from back then?" Right now, Zhao Fu was not sure who this woman was. She looked like the sword spirit of the seizing sword, but the aura she gave off was similar to that of the #1 expert from back then. The woman gave off a wave of battle intent as she smiled and said, "If you want to know, defeat me. Show me your power as a child of primal chaos." Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "You're not a match for me. Don't seek trouble for yourself." The woman gripped the seizing sword with both hands and smiled as she said, "I'll give it a try then. Xing." The woman drew the sword, and a terrifying sword energy spread out. The sword's power fused with the woman's power, and a massive might spread out from the woman's body. Seeing that the woman wanted to fight, Zhao Fu did as she wished and used his primal chaos origin energy. The bronze shard within his body trembled as Zhao Fu slapped towards the woman, and a massive amount of primal chaos origin energy flowed towards the woman like a river. Sensing the massive amount of primal chaos origin energy, the woman smiled and cried out, "All right." Clang! The woman raised her sword and slashed down, sending out a blood-red sword light that contained shocking power to slash apart the aura river and continue toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, which gave off a golden light. The blood-red sword light was blocked by a formless power. The woman smiled and sheathed her sword. Then, she slashed out a few more times with all her might. A few blood-red sword beams slashed towards Zhao Fu ferociously. Zhao Fu's expression was calm. He stretched out his hand and clenched it. The blood-colored sword lights that were slashing towards him were crushed by a huge force. The primal chaos essence power was one of the most powerful powers in the primal chaos world. Now, Zhao Fu could use it to deal with the woman with ease because the primal chaos essence power could suppress other powers. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand and slapped out, causing the woman to be slammed towards her by a formless energy. The woman immediately blocked with her sword, and a muffled explosion sounded out as she was forced back a few steps. The woman cried out excitedly, "Is this the power of the primal chaos source? It's so powerful." Zhao Fu's body seemed to be covered by golden energy, and his body instantly twisted and disappeared. The woman did not sense where Zhao Fu was, and she sent a massive wave of power into her sword. She stabbed it into the ground, and a blood-red shock wave blasted out, causing the ground to instantly crumble. Suddenly, Zhao Fu appeared behind the woman and hugged her. The woman tried to struggle free, but Zhao Fu sent his 6 desires demonic qi into her body. The woman's expression fell as she cried out, "You're the child of primal chaos. How can you use such despicable power?" Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "Do you think I'm that easy to deal with? Do you think you can fight me just because you want to?" The massive 6 desires demonic qi controlled the woman's body, and Zhao Fu let go of her and asked, "Can you tell me your identity now?" The woman breathed out, "Even though you use such a despicable power, you've still defeated me. I'll tell you now. I was the #1 expert who took over the valley back then." Zhao Fu was not too surprised and asked, "What's your name?" The woman replied, "I'm called Blood-Flying Fish." Zhao Fu took out the bronze shard that he had not refined yet and said, "Do you have a bronze shard like this?" Blood-Flying Fish felt quite startled. "Isn't this the bronze shard that I lost back then?" Zhao Fu looked quite confused. He had wanted to ask Blood-Flying Fish if he had a bronze shard like this, but he had never thought that this bronze shard was what Blood-Flying Fish had lost. "What's going on?" Blood-Flying Fish said, "Back then, I fought with a few experts and lost a bronze shard like this. I still have 2 bronze shards like this." Zhao Fu smiled in delight as he said, "Where are the other 2 bronze shards?" Blood-Flying Fish stretched out a hand and made a grabbing motion, causing a wooden box to fly out from the pile of treasures. Blood-Flying Fish grabbed the wooden box and handed it to Zhao Fu. "What are they used for?" "I only sensed that they weren't ordinary items when I obtained them in the past, but I didn't know their information." Zhao Fu opened the wooden box and found that there were indeed 2 bronze shards inside. Zhao Fu used the shards within his body to sense them and found that the 2 bronze shards had a reaction. They were the bronze shards that Zhao Fu had been looking for. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "These 2 are shards of an origin armament." Blood-Flying Fish said in shock, "These are shards of an origin armament? How come I didn't discover them?" Zhao Fu replied, "These shards can only be sensed with origin energy. Also, where did you obtain these shards?" Blood-Flying Fish thought for a moment before saying, "I obtained these 3 bronze shards from different places. Some were in historical remnant, and some were from others." Hearing this, Zhao Fu felt quite disappointed. He had thought that he would be able to obtain information about the other shards from blood-flying fish. Zhao Fu put the 3 bronze shards away. Refining them required a large amount of origin energy and heaven and earth power, and he needed a secluded place to refine them. As such, Zhao Fu did not plan to refine them for now. Zhao Fu looked at blood-flying fish and said, "Now, give me your legacy." Blood-flying fish asked curiously, "You're a child of chaos and you're more powerful than me. Why do you want my legacy?" Zhao Fu said, "Since you become my woman, Blood-flying fish cut off Zhao Fu's words. "Wait, when did I become your woman? I didn't agree to anything." Zhao Fu did not mind as he said, "You don't have the ability to resist. I need your legacy fate to awaken the supreme Emperor Star in the outer world." Hearing the first half of Zhao Fu's words, Blood-flying fish felt quite angry, and hearing the latter half, she asked curiously, "Even though Emperor Stars are rare, as a child of chaos, it should be easy for you to awaken one. Why do you need other legacy fate?" Chapter 2648. Book 1, Chapter 93. Before Zhao Fu could reply, Flying Bloodfish thought of something and asked in shock, "The awakened Emperor Star you're talking about is the outer world's supreme Emperor Star?" Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. "I don't care about ordinary Emperor Stars. What I want is the supreme Emperor Star of the outer world, an Emperor Star that no one can compare to. A unique Emperor Star that reigns above everything else. Only then can it match my status." The flying bloodfish thought about it and said, "You're right. You're the primal chaos child, so you naturally need the primal chaos world's supreme Emperor Star." Boom! The flying bloodfish extended a hand, and a massive legacy power surged out, pouring into Zhao Fu's body. After a while, Zhao Fu easily absorbed the blood-flying fish's inheritance. Zhao Fu smiled. "Come with me and leave this place. Right now, I am in a soul state. I do not have a real body. My body was damaged during the battle back then, so I cannot leave this place." Zhao Fu said, "Then how about you fuse with the Qiaoling sword and become a sword spirit?" Blood-flying fish refused, saying, "I don't want to be bound by swords and become a sword spirit." Zhao Fu said, "Then I'll help you reconstruct a body." After saying that, Zhao Fu stretched out his hand. 8 runes appeared, and Zhao Fu pressed them into the flying bloodfish's body. Blood-flying fish's expression changed. "You're also the inheritor of the first evil immortal?" Zhao Fu calmly nodded and sent the 8 forbidden blood arts power into the flying bloodfish's body. Countless traces of blood appeared in the surrounding void and gathered towards the flying bloodfish, forming a human-shaped ball of blood that continuously condensed. In the end, flying bloodfish obtained a brand new body. However, this body did not have much power, and flying bloodfish's cultivation was only around the world realm. When flying bloodfish sensed the changes in his body, he smiled in delight and said, "The 8 forbidden blood art is indeed powerful. Even ordinary higher beings would not be able to create such a powerful body so easily." Zhao Fu had used the flying bloodfish's bloodline as a foundation and infused chaotic force into this body. This body was exactly the same as the flying bloodfish's original body. There was no rejection or difference, and this body was a chaotic spirit body. A chaos spirit constitution was a constitution that could easily absorb the power of the primordial world. It was a constitution that could allow one to become a genius, and Zhao Fu had easily created it. With a wave of his hand, Zhao Fu collected all the treasures into his storage ring. Originally, Zhao Fu had only planned on taking the bronze shards and not taking anything else. After all, this was someone else's territory. If he were to take everything, he would definitely be unwilling. However, things were different now. With the flying bloodfish, the people fighting for the valley would not dare to do anything to him. Moreover, this treasure trove belonged to the flying bloodfish in the first place. Zhao Fu said, "Let's go." The flying bloodfish held the snatching collar sword and smiled as he followed behind Zhao Fu. The snatching collar sword was returned to its owner, and Zhao Fu did not take it. Zhao Fu did not plan on looking for life weapons either, as he found that whether it was the first evil immortal's power or the primordial shard's power, they were not suitable for using weapons. Everyone looked at the stone door, waiting for Zhao Fu to come out. When Zhao Fu walked out with the flying bloodfish, everyone felt quite surprised. They had never thought that Zhao Fu would bring out a blood-red-haired woman. Everyone else felt quite confused, but the experts sitting at the center of the viewing platforms looked quite confused as they hurriedly flew over to the flying bloodfish and paid their respects as they called out, "Blood Sovereign." Hearing their voices, everyone looked quite shocked and understood that this woman was the #1 expert from back then. Hadn't this woman gone missing? Why had she appeared here? The Dogu people on the viewing platforms came to their senses and flew down and paid their respects to the flying bloodfish. The countless ordinary Dogu people also paid their respects to the #1 expert from back then and called out respectfully, "Blood Sovereign." The people from the other factions looked quite serious. Not only did Dogu have such a terrifying legatee, but the #1 expert from back then had also appeared. In the future, Dogu would become even more powerful. Facing everyone's bows, the flying bloodfish calmly smiled and said, "No need to be so polite." The elder smiled as he said, "Congratulations on your revival, Blood Sovereign. We'll immediately notify the other sovereigns." The flying bloodfish thought about it and nodded. Zhao Fu said, "I'll be leaving now." The elder immediately said, "Wait, you can't leave yet. Please tell us who you are." Everyone looked at Zhao Fu curiously. What they were most curious about was Zhao Fu's identity. The flying bloodfish said, "You don't need to worry about him, and don't know who he is. Dogu cannot afford to offend him." Hearing the #1 expert from back then say such a thing, everyone felt incredibly shocked. Just what was Zhao Fu's identity? Zhao Fu gave a faint smile and walked away under everyone's respectful gazes. Hong Yin and Zi Yin happily followed behind Zhao Fu. Alon Air said, "You're qualified to be my man. I can be your woman." Zi Yin said with a mocking smile, "What did you say before?" Halon Air said, "Things are different now. Now that he has obtained the legacy, he can become the next Dogu master. My man must have this kind of potential. Also, are you afraid that you can't compete with me? It's evident that I'm more outstanding than you." Ziyin said unhappily, "Who can't compete with you? What a joke." Halon Air went up and said, "Then let's see who he likes more." Zhao Fu looked at her and lightly laughed, and they left together. Following this, news quickly spread that not only had a powerful legatee appeared in Dogu, but the #1 expert from back then had also revived. Everyone was shocked, and some people immediately prepared gifts to congratulate Dogu. In the future, Dogu would definitely become even more powerful. After a long time, Flying Bloodfish came to Zhao Fu's room, and seeing this scene, her face became red. Zhao Fu said, "Why did they find you?" Flying Bloodfish rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu and said, "They said that they would help me quickly recover my cultivation and let me become the new Dogu master. They also asked about your identity." Zhao Fu bullied Heilun Air and asked, "What did you say?" Flying Bloodfish replied, "What could I do? I couldn't resist and could only leave with you, so I refused and didn't tell them your identity. However, I wasn't interested in leading Dogu in the first place." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Leaving with me will definitely be better than staying in Dogu. I won't mistreat you." Flying Bloodfish helplessly nodded. Zhao Fu then asked, "Oh, that's right. Do you know where I can obtain more bronze shards? Or do you know who has such bronze shards? I've already obtained 4, so I'm only a dozen or so away from repairing that origin artifact." Chapter 2649. Book 1. Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu, Flying Bloodfish, thought for a moment before saying, "I'm not sure who has it, but someone might." Zhao Fu asked in delight, "Who is that?" Flying Bloodfish said, "That person's name is Long Quan In, and he once explored a historical remnant with me. I obtained a bronze shard there, and he might have obtained one as well. However, so much time has passed, and I'm not sure where he is." Zhao Fu thought about it and said, "Then we can only go and ask around about him." Flying Bloodfish asked, "When are you leaving?" I'm tired of staying in Duo Valley and want to go out and get some fresh air. Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "Come over here." Flying Bloodfish glared at Zhao Fu and said, "I'm not going over." In the end, Flying Bloodfish was dragged over by Zhao Fu, and an hour later, they left Duo Valley. Zhao Fu's main goal in Duo Valley was to see if there were any bronze shards. He had never thought that he would obtain 2 bronze shards and obtain information about the next one. Zhao Fu felt that collecting all of the bronze shards would not be too difficult. Zhao Fu's current plan was to find an alliance city to ask around for information about Long Quan and while buying a large amount of insect beast king blood. Zhao Fu had just arrived in this region, so there were most likely many bloodlines that he had not fused with yet. A few days later, Zhao Fu and the others arrived at a level 7 alliance city. During those days, Zhao Fu refined the 3 bronze shards that he had obtained. With his first experience and the help of the first shard, Zhao Fu was able to easily refine the 3 bronze shards without causing as much of a commotion as before. The 4 shards were located in different locations, and they were scattered throughout Zhao Fu's body. The chaos source energy within Zhao Fu's body had become much more powerful. Zhao Fu spent hundreds of millions of gold coins in the Alliance City to buy thousands of bloodlines. If he wanted to raise his first stage bloodline to the 3rd stage, he would need tens of thousands of bloodlines. Zhao Fu had already heard about the Dragon Spring Inn. It was said that the Dragon Spring Inn's owner had disappeared, but he had left behind a legatee. Now, it was up to his legatee to see if he had this bronze shard. That successor's name was Long Baihe. He was now a member of an Emperor-level force. His status was not low, and his cultivation had reached the Emptiness Realm. It took them a few more days to reach the Emperor-class faction. The process was unexpectedly smooth. Zhao Fu was able to easily see that Long Baihe. This Long Baihe had already transformed into a fair-skinned, middle-aged man. Long Baihe smiled and bowed to Xue Feiyu. "I didn't expect Senior to still be alive. Master often mentions you." The reason Zhao Fu had been able to meet Long Baihe so easily was because he had used Flying Bloodfish's identity. Back then, Flying Bloodfish had had a good relationship with the Dragon Spring Inn, or else they would not have gone to explore the historical remnant together. Flying Bloodfish nodded. "Where's your master now?" Long Baihe replied with a smile. "Master has already left for the Boundless Void." The Boundless Void was a place outside of the primal chaos world. When Zhao Fu was searching for the half-immortal world, he had gone there before. It was extremely dangerous and everything was unknown. He could encounter all sorts of things, and he could even meet the legendary immortals. Since the Dragon Spring Inn had left for the Boundless Void, Zhao Fu would definitely not be able to contact him. Flying Bloodfish asked curiously, "What is your master's cultivation now?" Back then, the Dragon Spring Inn and Flying Bloodfish's cultivation had been similar. Now that so much time had passed, the Dragon Spring Inn's cultivation should be very high. The Dragon Spring Inn itself should be very powerful. Long Baihe smiled and said, "When Master left the primal chaos world, he was already at the peak of the almighty realm. Now that so many years have passed, he should have the half-immortal mirror world." Flying Bloodfish felt slightly envious. "If I had not fought with those people back then, my cultivation would have been the same as your master's. Now that my cultivation has fallen to the world realm, I don't even know when I will recover to the almighty realm." Long Baihe smiled and said, "With Senior's extraordinary talent, you should be able to recover to the almighty realm very quickly." Zhao Fu looked at Flying Bloodfish and asked, "Did your master leave you a bronze shard?" Now, Zhao Fu was quite worried. Even though he did not know if the Dragon Spring Inn had a bronze shard, even if it did, it had already left for the Boundless Void. It would be impossible for Zhao Fu to find it. Long Bai had thought about it and said, "What does the bronze shard look like?" Zhao Fu said, "It's a shard of a bronze mirror. It's very ancient and rough, and it doesn't give off any aura. However, it's indestructible." Long Baihe replied, "Master did not leave me a bronze shard like that." Zhao Fu's heart sank, and he continued to ask, "Did your master have a bronze shard like that?" Long Bai had thought about it and said, I don't think Master has a bronze shard like that. At this moment, Zhao Fu did not know whether to be happy or disappointed. He was happy that the dragon sprang and had not taken the bronze shard to the boundless void, but he was disappointed that it would be a waste of time. Long Baihe asked curiously, Why are you looking for this bronze shard? Zhao Fu did not tell Long Baihe and only said, It's something very important to me. Long Baihe said, I've heard of someone who has this item before. However, it'll be very difficult for you to obtain it. Zhao Fu smiled in pleasant surprise and hurriedly said, Who is that person? Long Baihe said, That person is Blade Venerable, who I'm currently part of. His cultivation is at the Almighty Realm, and he's arrogant and overbearing. It'll be very difficult to obtain this bronze shard from him. It was impossible for Zhao Fu to deal with Almighty Realm Cultivator. Without other methods, it would indeed be very difficult to obtain the bronze shard from him. If Zhao Fu directly asked Blade Venerable for it, he might be killed without any resistance. However, Zhao Fu had to obtain the bronze shard. It was a primal chaos origin artifact, and if he could obtain a complete origin artifact, it would be possible for him to obtain true primal chaos origin energy. It would be best if he could invite an Almighty Realm Cultivator to talk to Blade Venerable in exchange for the bronze shard. However, where would Zhao Fu find an Almighty Realm Cultivator to help him? Zhao Fu said gratefully to Long Baihe, Many thanks. Long Baihe smiled and said, You're welcome. Since you're senior's friends, you're also my friends. Flying Bloodfish looked at Zhao Fu and asked, What do you plan to do now? Zhao Fu said what he was thinking. I want to find an Almighty Realm Cultivator to exchange for the bronze shard. Flying Bloodfish frowned and said, I might not be able to help you with this. Although I knew many Almighty Realm Cultivators in the past, I don't know where they are or how they are now. Otherwise, it wouldn't be too much of a problem to ask them for help. Long Bai had thought for a moment and said, I can introduce you to an Almighty Realm Cultivator, but whether she can help you or not depends on you. I don't have the ability to ask her to help you. Zhao Fu smiled and said, Many thanks, I'll have to trouble you. Chapter 2650 Book 1 Chapter 95 Not only did Long Baihe tell Zhao Fu so much information, but he was also willing to introduce a higher being to Zhao Fu. Following this, the group followed Long Baihe to a courtyard. The higher being that Long Baihe introduced was a sovereign from this emperor-level faction. She was called Yuzin Kaori and was respectfully called Sovereign Rain. After walking to the courtyard, two female attendants wearing blue dresses stopped Zhao Fu and the others and asked, What do you want? Long Baihe said, Please tell Sovereign Rain that I'm looking for her. The female attendants had Zhao Fu and the others wait before entering the courtyard. A while later, they came out and had Zhao Fu and the others enter. After coming to the guest hall, Zhao Fu and the others saw a beautiful and gentle woman wearing a blue palace dress. She was Yuzin Kaori. Seeing Zhao Fu and the others come in, Yuzin Kaori softly asked Long Baihe, What is it? Even though Long Baihe's cultivation was at the Void Realm, he had a master who might be a half-step celestial, so Yuzin Kaori was quite courteous to him. Long Baihe bowed and said, Sovereign Rain, I'm here to introduce a few people to you. This person has something to ask of you. Yuzin Kaori looked quite confused and looked at Zhao Fu, not knowing why this little Emperor Heaven Realm Cultivator was looking for her. Zhao Fu also bowed and said, I want to ask Senior to help us exchange something from Blade Venerable. Yuzin Kaori could not help but lightly laugh. This was the first time someone had asked her for help. Moreover, what could an Emperor Heaven Realm Cultivator exchange for with a higher being? Yuzin Kaori was quite curious about this. Even though she did not like Blade Venerable, she did not refuse and asked, What do you want to exchange for? Zhao Fu replied, A bronze shard that is useless to him. Yuzin Kaori looked at Zhao Fu and said, What is that bronze shard? It shouldn't be an ordinary item. Also, how do you know that it is useless to others? Zhao Fu was not surprised by Yuzin Kaori's question and replied, This is my family's weapon. No one else can use it. Yuzin Kaori asked again, What's your family name? Zhao Fu said, I can't tell Revered Rain about this. This was a lie that Zhao Fu had told. Even if Zhao Fu said that his family would not be able to say it. Yuzin Kaori smiled and said, "You're still hiding this from me, so why should I help you?" Zhao Fu said, "If revered rain can help me, I will definitely have a generous gift to express my gratitude." Yumi Kaori smiled and said, "Then what will you use to exchange with him? He won't trade for ordinary things." Hearing this, Zhao Fu waved his hand and took out 3 items. One was an ore called bright lanthanum ore, which was quite valuable and was quite attractive to higher beings. One was an animal hide that gave off a terrifying aura. The last item was a medicinal pill that gave off a dense medicinal fragrance. This medicinal pill could increase a higher being's cultivation. None of these items belonged to Zhao Fu. They were items from the flying bloodfish treasury. Why did Zhao Fu feel that he had become a pretty boy? Before, he had taken skeletal eyebrows items to buy things, and now he was using the flying bloodfish's treasures to exchange for things. Yuzin Kaori looked quite confused. She understood the value of these items. To be able to take out these items, it seemed that Zhao Fu's family was quite powerful. Yuzin Kaori asked curiously, "Why don't you ask your family's higher being to exchange with him?" Zhao Fu replied, "I want to use my own abilities to collect the shards of my family's weapon." Yuzin Kaori thought about it and said, "I can help you once, but I can't guarantee that he'll be willing to exchange with you." Zhao Fu bowed and said, "Thank you, revered rain, for your help." Following this, everyone left the courtyard and came to a large hall. There was a fierce-looking big man sitting at the head of the hall. He was Blade Venerable, and he gave off a very powerful aura. It was obvious that he was not someone to be trifled with. Blade Venerable smiled and said, "What's the matter?" Yuzin Kaori said, "I've brought someone to exchange with you." Blade Venerable laughed and said, "You want to exchange with me? Did I hear that right?" Yuzin Kaori frowned and pointed at Zhao Fu. "That's right. He's the one who wants to exchange with you." Blade Venerable looked at Zhao Fu with disdain and said, "What do you want from me, boy?" Zhao Fu bowed and said, "I wonder if Blade Venerable has a special bronze shard." Blade Venerable thought about it and took out a bronze shard that was a few inches wide. He said, "Are you talking about this one?" Zhao Fu carefully sensed it and found the aura of the origin on it. It should be the bronze shard that Zhao Fu was looking for. He nodded with a smile and said, "This is what I'm looking for." Blade Venerable smiled contemptuously and said, "I'm not exchanging. It took me a lot of effort to get this thing, and I can't see what it is. How can I exchange it with you?" Zhao Fu said, "This is my family's weapon. It's useless for you to keep it, so I'm willing to exchange it with you." Zhao Fu then took out the 3 items from before. Blade Venerable looked at the 3 items and said, "I'm not exchanging. Also, which family are you from?" Blade Venerable was very difficult to deal with, so it should be worth it to exchange 1 useless item for 3 useful items. However, Blade Venerable refused to exchange it. Zhao Fu said, "My family can't tell you. Are you not satisfied with these items? What do you need to exchange it with me?" Blade Venerable looked at Zhao Fu fiercely and said, "If you don't tell me who your family is, I can't guarantee that you can leave safely." Yuzin Kaori said, "I brought them here, so I won't let you do anything to them." Zhao Fu and the others' expressions changed. Fortunately, they didn't come looking for Blade Venerable alone. If it wasn't for Yuzin Kaori, she might have killed Zhao Fu directly. Blade Venerable laughed and said, "Rain Venerable, are the 2 of us going to compete again?" Yuzin Kaori said seriously, "I'm not interested in competing with you. Since you don't want to exchange, I'll take them away." Blade Venerable was slightly stronger than Yuzin Kaori, and Yuzin Kaori didn't really want to fight Blade Venerable. It was best for her to take Zhao Fu and the others away. Blade Venerable said with a smile, "You can leave, but he has to tell me who he is. Also, what is this bronze shard?" Yuzin Kaori said coldly, "Don't go too far." Blade Venerable said with a smile, "I'm not going too far. I don't think you know who he is or about this bronze shard, right?" Hearing this, Yuzin Kaori was startled. She indeed didn't know who Zhao Fu was, but she didn't know anything about the bronze shard. She only knew that it was the family weapon that Zhao Fu had mentioned. Blade Venerable looked at Yuzenkori's expression and said, "Let me tell you, I can't destroy this bronze shard even with my full strength. Do you know how tough this thing is? If I can't destroy it with my powerful strength, I suspect that this bronze shard is a shard of a holy weapon. This kid wants to exchange these things for something that might be a holy weapon shard. Do you think I'll give it to him?" Yuzenkori looked at Zhao Fu with a serious expression. Now, Zhao Fu was in a dangerous situation. Chapter 2651. Book 1, Chapter 96. Zhao Fu knew that his life would be in danger if he didn't handle this well. Zhao Fu chuckled. He didn't have his previous humble and gentle look. Instead, he was full of disdain and dominance. "I wanted to use a gentle way to obtain the fragment, but you threatened me. Hand over the bronze fragment now. Otherwise, I'll make sure that not even a blade of grass grows in your faction." Venerable the Blade and Yuzenkori looked at Zhao Fu, who seemed to have changed into a different person. They were startled. Venerable the Blade smiled fiercely. "Brat, how dare you act so arrogantly in front of me? Are you really not afraid of death?" Zhao Fu looked at Venerable the Blade in disdain. "You think you can do that? You're not qualified." Venerable the Blade couldn't stand it anymore. A murderous intent emerged in his heart. A terrifying aura erupted, and he was about to attack Zhao Fu. Yuzenkori didn't have any intention of stopping him. Long Baihe hurriedly said, "Venerable the Blade, please give me some face. He's a friend that I brought here." Venerable the Blade was also afraid of Long Baihe's identity. He snorted coldly. "This brat is courting death. He even dared to say such words in front of me. He will die here even if he reveals his identity." Long Baihe wanted to say something. Boom! Suddenly, a loud explosion was heard. A chaotic and desolate power erupted and enveloped the hall like a heavenly might. The surroundings seemed to be sealed by this power. Venerable the Blade and Yuzenkori were stunned. Their bloodline power and souls felt a sense of fear. This is the origin power of chaos. Zhao Fu said faintly, "Don't you want to know my identity? Let me tell you now. I'm the son of chaos of the origin race." Venerable the Blade was shocked. In front of him was the son of chaos who had shaken the entire chaotic world. Everyone in the world was looking for him. They didn't expect him to appear in front of them. They didn't even believe it. However, the power he was emitting was the origin power. Yuzenkori knew that Zhao Fu wasn't simple, but she didn't expect Zhao Fu to be the son of chaos. She was extremely shocked. Long Baihe looked at Zhao Fu in astonishment. He did not expect that the person who had been courteous to him earlier would have such a terrifying identity. Venerable the Blade's aura weakened in the face of Zhao Fu's origin energy. Although he had the ability to kill Zhao Fu, he was afraid of the origin race behind Zhao Fu. Moreover, he might not be able to kill Zhao Fu because Zhao Fu was the son of chaos. He must have a way to protect himself. He might even be able to ask an immortal to help him. Venerable the Saber fully believed that Zhao Fu had the ability to destroy this emperor-level force. Even if he did not use his family's power and only said that he wanted to destroy them, experts from all sides would not mind destroying them in order to please Zhao Fu. Boom, boom, boom. This power alerted the other three higher being existences, and they hurriedly flew over. They were a bearded middle-aged man, an elder with short azure hair, and a young woman in a purple dress. They looked at Zhao Fu, who was emitting origin energy. They were extremely shocked and understood Zhao Fu's identity. The elder was the most powerful person in this force. He said politely, "Son of Chaos, what happened?" Zhao Fu was still very nervous. He was not the real son of Chaos and did not have any immortals or half-immortals to protect him. If these people really want to kill him, he could only use the first evil immortal's ability to escape. However, he could not lose in terms of momentum. Zhao Fu said coldly, "Ask him. He just said that he wanted me dead." The three people's expressions changed. Was Venerable the Saber crazy to want the son of Chaos dead? Even if he wanted to die, he did not want to drag the entire force down with him. The elder yelled, Dao Qiong, you dare to kill the son of chaos? Venerable, the ferocious and overbearing saber, was also very afraid of Zhao Fu's terrifying identity. He said, I did not know that he was the son of chaos. The elder smiled as he said to Zhao Fu, This is a misunderstanding. Please don't take it to heart, son of chaos. Dao Qiong, hurry up and apologize to the son of chaos. Dao Qiong felt quite hesitant. After all, he was a higher being, and apologizing to Zhao Fu would be a loss of face. However, thinking about Zhao Fu's terrifying identity, Dao Qiong said, Chaos child, I'm sorry, I was too rash and offended you. Zhao Fu inwardly let out a sigh of relief. It seemed that they were quite wary of the son of chaos. In actuality, even higher beings did not dare to offend the holy sons of Holy Spirit factions and had to speak politely. Holy Spirit factions had immortals, and the origin race was even more terrifying. Yuzin Kaori also said, I'm sorry, I offended you in the past. Now that Yuzin Kaori did not dare to offend Zhao Fu, she did not want to die like this. It had not been easy for her to become a higher being. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand and said, Give me the shard. Dao Qiong did not hesitate and handed the bronze shard to Zhao Fu. He had thought that this shard might be a saint artifact shard, but it seemed that it was not as simple as that. It was indeed useless to him. Zhao Fu received the shard and warned, I'll let it go this time. I don't want to go on a killing spree. Dao Qiong squeezed out a smile and said, Son of chaos, you're very magnanimous. Zhao Fu lightly harumphed and did not reply. The elder smiled as he said, Son of chaos, since you've come to our faction as an esteemed guest, we'll immediately prepare good food and wine to welcome you. Zhao Fu did not dare to stay here for long. There's no need. The family has a mission for me. After saying this, Zhao Fu and his people openly walked out. Seeing Zhao Fu and his people leave, the elder inwardly let out a sigh of relief. Sending away this great god was a good thing. They could not afford to offend him at all. Their faction was as weak as a mouse to such an existence and could be easily trampled to death. After everyone left the faction, Blood-Flying Fish could not help but say, Your identity is quite useful. You can obtain anything you want in the primal chaos world. Why do you still need to work so hard to collect these bronze shards? Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, It would be great if I really was the primal chaos world's son of chaos. A single word from me would be enough for countless experts to collect shards for me. I don't want to work so hard and go through so much trouble. Blood-Flying Fish looked quite confused as she said, You're not the real son of chaos? How can you have such pure primal chaos source energy? Painted skeletal eyebrows said softly, He's indeed not the son of chaos, but he's the son of heaven enlightenment. Blood-Flying Fish looked quite confused and could not understand what Zhao Fu was saying. She had been in the treasury for too long and did not know anything else. Only after the others explained did Blood-Flying Fish find out Zhao Fu's identity, and she was so shocked that she could not say anything. Zhao Fu and his group quickly left this place and did not stay for too long. If their identities were exposed, many experts would definitely hurry over. Chapter 2652. Book 1, Chapter 97. Everything was just as Zhao Fu had expected. The news of the Son of Chaos appearance spread like wildfire, and countless experts swarmed over. Dao Qiong and the others looked at the sea of experts that had gathered in their faction, and their hearts were filled with lingering fear. Fortunately, they hadn't attacked Zhao Fu. Otherwise, just these experts alone would have been enough to destroy their faction dozens of times over. Countless experts asked Zhao Fu about all sorts of things, and Dao Qiong and the others told them everything. Hearing that Zhao Fu was collecting bronze shards and that he had many women with him, the crowd could guess some things. That bronze shard was most likely an origin weapon that required origin power to be used. If they had such a bronze shard, the Son of Chaos would come to them on his own. Everyone began to rummage through their storage rings to see if they could find such an item. Also, That son of chaos had a lot of women around him, so he should also be a playboy. Using stunning beauties would also be a good way to attract him. Both of these methods could be used to find the son of chaos, which was a pleasant surprise. Besides, these two methods were definitely better than searching aimlessly. However, those bronze shards were very difficult to obtain. Some people also had some bronze shards, but it was unknown if they were the kind that Zhao Fu wanted. The first method was more difficult, but the second method was much easier. Soon, news spread that countless places had prepared countless beauties to entertain the son of chaos. Even the famous beauties of the chaos world wanted to meet the son of chaos. Countless people were envious. At this time, Zhao Fu, who was already in another region, couldn't help but smile when he heard this news. This was indeed very tempting. Blood-flying fish pinched Zhao Fu hard. "Why do you need so many women?" Zhao Fu said with a chuckle. "I won't really go. Right now, it's more important." The matter of the bronze shards had already been leaked. Countless people already knew that Zhao Fu was collecting bronze shards, which made it difficult for Zhao Fu to collect them. Right now, there were thousands of places that claimed to have bronze shards, but there were only a dozen bronze shards in total. How could there be thousands of them? Perhaps some of them were real, but most of them were fake. Zhao Fu decided not to collect the bronze shards for now, and he decided to focus on collecting bloodlines. He had only fused 10,000 or so types of bloodlines, and there were millions or tens of millions of types of bloodlines in the chaos world. If he wanted the number one evil celestial bloodline to its limits, he would need an ocean of blood. Comparatively, collecting bloodlines was much more important. Zhao Fu wanted to recruit a group of subordinates. Zhao Fu did not lack money at all, but if he went to one place to buy bloodlines, it would be much faster. If he had subordinates go to many places to buy bloodlines, he would be much faster. Zhao Fu wanted to recruit subordinates. Zhao Fu wanted evil. Zhao Fu looked down on those with ordinary cultivation. One had to be at least at the Emperor Heaven realm to be able to go anywhere safely. Otherwise, bringing large sums of money to buy all sorts of bloodstones would be quite dangerous. Zhao Fu could not think of any good ideas, and if he directly recruited people without revealing his identity, no one would be willing to follow him. As such, he had to put this matter aside for now. In actuality, Zhao Fu did not have many people. Lan Qingyuan, Lan Banyuan, Ericina, Feng Shunsha, Huat Gume, Shui Mu, Ziyin, Hong Yin, Hong Qian, Ziyu, Bing Qingqing, Shuefeiyu, and Heilan Air. However, only 5 of them had reached the Emperor Heaven realm. If Zhao Fu wanted to raise the number one evil celestial bloodline to the 3rd stage, he would need tens of thousands of types of bloodlines. Zhao Fu told them his thoughts and split them into 5 teams. Each team would have an Emperor Heaven realm expert leading them, and they would go to various places to buy blood and meet up here in a few days. Hearing that Zhao Fu was going to split up with them, the women felt quite reluctant. Bing Qingqing said unhappily, "We haven't even been with you for a few days, and you're going to split up again?" Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "It's not like we'll be apart for a long time, at most 5 or 6 days. Whoever collects King Bloodline Water first can come back first. After raising the number one evil celestial bloodline to the 3rd stage, I'll reward you well." Shuefeiyu lightly harumphed. "I thought there would be benefits from submitting to you, but it turns out I'm just a runner." Zhao Fu gave a playful smile as he said, "What do you mean there aren't any benefits? Don't you feel that your constitution is becoming stronger and stronger?" Shuefeiyu's face became red as she said, "I don't want to talk to you anymore." Following this, everyone left this place and flew in different directions. The other 5 teams went to different places, while Zhao Fu went to a region by himself. After traveling for 2 or so days, Zhao Fu came to a level 7 alliance city. Right now, only level 7 alliance cities could satisfy Zhao Fu's needs. Level 6 and 5 alliance cities could not satisfy him at all. After entering this alliance city, the first thing Zhao Fu did was to find a financial group. Only financial group had so many types of blood. Ordinary shops would at most have a few hundred types. Zhao Fu first found a financial group, and found that the largest financial group in this alliance city was the Yao Ming Financial Group. This made Zhao Fu feel somewhat hesitant because he had been in contact with the Yao Ming Financial Group before. If he bought a large amount of blood from them, his identity would definitely be exposed. However, if he did not buy from them, it would be very difficult to obtain so much blood, making Zhao Fu feel quite troubled. In the end, Zhao Fu did not go to the Yao Ming Financial Group, as he did not want his identity to be exposed and cause a series of problems. Zhao Fu found a small financial group, and the person who received him was a young man with a scholarly aura. Zhao Fu did not waste any words and directly said, "I need a large amount of essence blood. I need both insect beast blood and chaos race blood." The young man felt quite awkward as he said, "Apologies, sir. Sir, these things have already been monopolized by the Yao Ming Financial Group, and we only have a few types of ordinary essence blood." Zhao Fu frowned. This Yao Ming Financial Group knows that I need a large amount of essence blood, so they use this method to see me. If I went to the Yao Ming Financial Group, I would be able to obtain a large amount of essence blood, and I wouldn't even need to spend any money. However, in the end, Zhao Fu still did not go to the Yao Ming Financial Group, as he would have to pay a price to go there. Zhao Fu did not want to take the risk, so he went to another alliance city. There were so many alliance cities, and it was impossible for the Yao Ming Financial Group to monopolize them all. In the end, Zhao Fu spent another 3 days, and now he had spent a total of 5 days. Some of the faster people from the other teams should have finished their missions and were already waiting for him at the agreed place. After coming to the new alliance city, even though there was the Yao Ming Financial Group here, they did not monopolize all of the essence blood. There was also a financial group in the alliance city that was not any weaker than the Yao Ming Financial Group, and it was called the 12 Moons Financial Group. It was said that the 12 Moons Financial Group was managed by 12 experts with special moon blood. This special moon blood was extremely ancient and had been passed down from ancient times. It was also said that this moon blood was related to the 12 moons in the sky. This was the chaos world where there were 8 suns in the day and 12 moons at night. Chapter 2653. Book 1. Zhao Fu was stunned. The person who received Zhao Fu was a woman wearing a silver dress and giving off a holy aura. She smiled as she said, "What do you need, sir?" Zhao Fu replied, "I need a large amount of essence blood, both from the insect beasts and the primal chaos race." The woman felt quite startled. She had heard about the Yao Ming Financial Group's news that they had to pay attention to everyone who bought large amounts of essence blood. In fact, the Yao Ming Financial Group was even willing to monopolize some cities' essence blood, which made the people from the 12 Moons feel quite surprised. They could not understand why the Yao Ming Financial Group was doing this. Now that she was facing someone who wanted to buy large amounts of essence blood, she was quite concerned about Zhao Fu's identity. She smiled as she said, "Sir, how much do you need?" Zhao Fu replied, "As much as you have." The woman felt quite surprised and probingly asked, "Sir, what do you need so much essence blood for?" Zhao Fu frowned as he asked, "What is it?" Seeing that Zhao Fu was a bit displeased, the woman hurriedly smiled apologetically as she said, "Apologies, I was just a bit curious. We have 5,000 or so types of insect beast blood, 200 types of primal chaos race blood, and 34 types of royal gray blood. In total, we need 570 million gold coins." Zhao Fu did not want to stay here any longer, so he threw a spatial ring to the woman and said, "I'll take them all." The woman took the spatial ring and looked at it before smiling as she said, "Sir, please wait a moment. I'll immediately prepare them for you." Zhao Fu nodded and sat on a chair to the side as he waited. After the woman left the room, she ordered people to collect essence blood as she sent out information about Zhao Fu. She was quite curious about Zhao Fu's identity. 10 or so minutes passed. The essence blood had been collected, but the woman did not receive any information about Zhao Fu's identity. This made the woman even more curious about Zhao Fu. Logically speaking, with their abilities, they should be able to find out some information about Zhao Fu. After thinking about it, The woman faintly felt that the Yao Ming Financial Group's matter was related to this person, but she could not be sure. She took the collected essence blood back to the room and handed the spatial ring to Zhao Fu as she said, "Sir, this is what you need." Zhao Fu took the ring and looked at it. He nodded and put it away before preparing to leave. The woman suddenly called out to Zhao Fu, "My name is you Dancing Cicada, the person in charge of the 12 Moons Financial Group. I would like to meet you." Zhao Fu felt quite startled. He had never thought that Moon Dancing Cicada would suddenly say such a thing. He was just passing by and would be leaving after buying some things. He did not want to have anything to do with Moon Dancing Cicada, and he felt that Moon Dancing Cicada had a purpose. Moon Dancing Cicada could tell what Zhao Fu was thinking and smiled as she said, "Sir, you most likely need a lot of essence blood. I can help you obtain more. I'm just curious about you." You Dancing Cicada smiled as she said, "I don't have an ulterior motive. I'm just curious about you." Zhao Fu thought about it and said, "We can be friends. I also need a large amount of different types of essence blood. If you can help me obtain them, I'll definitely reward you handsomely." Hearing this, you Dancing Cicada lightly smiled and said, "What is your name? You must have a very prestigious identity, right?" Zhao Fu said, "I'm called Mo Yi, but I can't tell you who I am." You Dancing Cicada understood that Zhao Fu's identity was definitely very prestigious, and she would not suffer a loss if she became friends with such a prestigious person. As such, she smiled and said, "That's fine." Zhao Fu suddenly thought of the 12 Moons legends and could not help but ask, "What grade of bloodline is your 12 Moons moonblood?" You Dancing Cicada lightly smiled as she said, "It's a peak Emperor class bloodline. If 12 types of bloodlines are fused together, it might become a divine bloodline." Divine bloodline? Hearing this, Zhao Fu's expression became serious. Divine bloodlines were normally only found in the half-immortal world. It was almost impossible to find divine bloodlines in this great world. Zhao Fu asked curiously, "Can you tell me more about your moon's blood?" You Dancing Cicada smiled as she said, "Yes, our 12 Moons Financial Group's inheritance comes from the ancient 12 Moons Immortals. The 12 Moon Lords that manage the financial group all have different bloodlines of the 12 Moons Immortals. This bloodline contains moon source energy and is extremely powerful. It's one of the top-tier powers in the primal chaos world. Women with this bloodline can ascend to the moon if their moon source energy reaches the limit." Hearing this, Zhao Fu felt incredibly shocked. One could ascend to the moon? Zhao Fu had never thought of this before, nor had he heard of anyone doing this before. He could not help but ask, "Is this true? When one's moon source energy reaches the limit, one can ascend to the moon?" You Dancing Cicada smiled as she said, "This is definitely true. Is it very strange to ascend to the moon? According to the records of our 12 Moons Financial Group, 34 people have ascended to the moon." Zhao Fu continued to ask, "Do you know what the moon looks like?" You Dancing Cicada replied, "Only those with very high authority can look at this information, but I heard that it's a very beautiful place." Hearing this, Zhao Fu also wanted to have a chance to ascend to the moon in the future. You Dancing Cicada looked at how Zhao Fu was thinking and asked, "Do you want to know more?" Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Go ahead, I'm listening." You Dancing Cicada continued to say, "Ascending to the moon is not the end. On the Moon Lord needs to continue cultivating on the moon and use the moon's power to break through one's limits. This is the moon's moon source energy, which will flow into the Moon Lord's body. The Moon Lord's bloodline might rise to the divine bloodline." Zhao Fu thought about you Dancing Cicada's words and said, "Didn't you say that it is possible to reach the divine bloodline by fusing 12 bloodlines?" You Dancing Cicada explained, "This is related to the 12 Moons Immortals. Back then, the 12 Moons Immortals had a very good relationship, and even though they weren't biological sisters, they were closer than most biological sisters. They obtained the moon source energy together, lived together, and cultivated together. In the end, the 12 bloodlines formed a special relationship and could fuse together to form a bloodline with 12 moon source energy. At that moment, Zhao Fu interrupted you, dancing cicada, and asked, "Then how did you obtain the moon source energy?" Hearing that the moon source energy was so powerful, Zhao Fu felt quite interested and wanted to obtain this kind of power. You, dancing cicada, thought for a moment and said, "Because it happened so long ago, the records are not very clear. It seems that it was obtained from a native who lived on the moon." "There are people who live on the moon?" Zhao Fu asked in surprise. You, dancing cicada, nodded and said, "In ancient times, it was said that the moon was inhabited, but not anymore." Zhao Fu asked, "Then how do you fuse the 12 moons immortals?" You, dancing cicada, lightly laughed and said, "You're not thinking about obtaining the Moon Lord's bloodline, are you? I'm telling you that it's impossible. Only women can possess this bloodline." Chapter 2654. Book 1, Chapter 99. Also, the method to fuse the 12 types of moon blood is our secret, so I can't tell you. Also, fusing the 12 types of moon blood is extremely difficult, and only 2 people in history have done it. Those 2 people have already become moon immortals and ascended to the celestial realm. Before coming here, Zhao Fu had heard that the moon blood was very special and powerful. Now that he heard Moon Dancing Cicada's words, he wanted to fuse the moon blood into the first evil immortal's bloodline. The first evil immortal's power would greatly increase. Of course, Zhao Fu did not say this out loud, and he smiled as he said, "I'm just very curious about the moon blood. Is there anything else about the moon blood? For example, breaking through to the divine bloodline on the moon." Moon Dancing Cicada said, "After a moon lord breaks through to the divine bloodline, his body will go through a qualitative change, and he will obtain a moon body. If nothing unexpected happens, he will basically become a moon immortal. In history, all moon lords who ascended to the moon became moon immortals." Zhao Fu felt quite shocked. Wasn't the 12 months merchant group very terrifying? 30 or so immortals had gone to the celestial realm. But Zhao Fu had heard that the 12 months merchant group was not the most powerful faction apart from the Alliance. Instead, it was ranked 3rd, and the 4th was the Yao Ming financial group. Thinking about that, Zhao Fu asked, "The 12 months merchant group has so many immortals, so it should be very powerful. Why is it like this now?" Moon Dancing Cicada sighed. "That was a long time ago. After the moon immortals ascended, we lost contact with the 12 months merchant group. Now, the 12 months merchant group is much weaker than before, and none of the moon lords can ascend to the moon. Otherwise, the 12 months merchant group would be much more powerful." Zhao Fu said, "I wonder if I can join the 12 months merchant group." By that time, Zhao Fu had a plan. He would use the 12 months merchant group to help him collect various types of blood and obtain the 12 types of moon blood. Moon Dancing Cicada could not help but laugh as she said, "Hee, did I hear wrongly?" Zhao Fu said, "I'm serious. I want to join the 12 months financial group and work for the 12 financial group. Can you recommend me? First, I don't know who you are. Second, we've only met once. Third, I don't believe that you want to work for the 12-month financial group. I feel like you're after moon blood. You've collected so much essence blood, so you must be very interested in it." Zhao Fu could not refute her words, so he thought about it and said, I do want the moon blood, but I can promise that I won't harm the people from your merchant group. Moreover, I can give you a massive opportunity." Moon Dancing Cicada said, "What do you want to do with moon blood?" "If you want to fuse it into your own body, then I advise you not to. If moon blood fuses into a man's body, it will be a fatal poison, and ordinary women will not be able to obtain moon origin power through moon blood." She did not know that Zhao Fu had the first evil celestial bloodline and could use it to fuse with moon blood. The first evil celestial bloodline could even fuse with divine bloodlines, so this peak imperial bloodline would definitely not be a problem. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "You don't have to worry about that. You just need to recommend me to the financial group, and I'll give you a massive opportunity. Isn't this a fair deal?" Moon Dancing Cicada smiled as she said, "I'm sorry to say this, but I don't really trust you right now. I don't even know who you are." Zhao Fu was not surprised by Moon Dancing Cicada's words and said, "I'll tell you my identity. I'm actually a holy sun." After saying that, Zhao Fu's body gave off a holy tear power. This power could cause all creatures to submit and reign above the heavens and earth. This was a power that had been changed by the first evil celestial bloodline. It had originally been heaven enlightenment holy tear power, but it had now become primal chaos holy tear power. Sensing the holy tear power that Zhao Fu's body gave off, Moon Dancing Cicada looked quite shocked. She had never thought that Zhao Fu's background would be so terrifying. This was the first time she had personally seen a holy sun. She did not know that Zhao Fu's background was even more terrifying. It was the primal chaos child, who had caused massive ripples outside. Zhao Fu looked at Moon Dancing Cicada and asked, "How about it? Will you agree?" Moon Dancing Cicada thought for a moment before saying, "I'm sorry, but I can't. Even though you're a holy sun, I'm worried that you'll harm the 12-month financial group. I can't betray the financial group for some benefits. If you were an ordinary person, I might be able to recommend you, but I never thought that your identity would be so terrifying." Zhao Fu asked with certainty, "Is it really impossible?" Moon Dancing Cicada nodded and said, "I'm truly sorry, holy sun. However, even though I can't recommend you, you can go to the 12-month financial group's headquarters with your identity. The 12 Moon Lords will welcome you, and you might be able to obtain moon blood from them. This is much easier than joining the financial group." What she said was true. This method was indeed much easier, but Zhao Fu was not a true holy sun and did not have a holy faction supporting him. He did not have any confidence, and even if the 12 Moon Lords wanted to kill him, he would not have the strength to resist. If he joined through a recommendation, it would be much safer, and he would be able to obtain moon blood stealthily. However, this was quite troublesome and time-consuming. So which method should he choose? After thinking for a moment, Zhao Fu decided to take the risk and choose Moon Dancing Cicada's method. If something unexpected happened, he could use his identity as the primal chaos child. Even though he could scare them, it would be incredibly dangerous, and it would be best if nothing happened. Another reason was that joining the financial group was too time-consuming, and Zhao Fu could not give up on other things just because of this powerful moon blood. Zhao Fu said, "Let's do as you say." You Dancing Cicada inwardly let out a sigh of relief. She did not want to offend Zhao Fu. She was just a manager, and if Zhao Fu wanted to kill her because of her identity as a holy sun, the 12 financial group would not say anything. They would not go against a holy faction for her. Now, this was a very good thing. She could introduce a holy sun to their faction as a guest, and the 12 financial group might become friends with a holy faction. This would be of great help to the 12 financial group, and he would be greatly rewarded. You Dancing Cicada smiled and said, "Holy sun, please wait a moment. I'll immediately report this matter." Zhao Fu nodded and said, You Dancing Cicada smiled and left the room, and she took out a jade medallion and prepared to report this matter to the higher-ups. At that moment, a female attendant hurriedly walked in and said, "Manager, we've just received news that that person's identity is quite terrifying." You Dancing Cicada happily smiled as she said, "I know who he is, and I'll immediately report that he's a holy sun. We've done a great service this time, and we'll all be greatly rewarded if we find a holy sun." The female attendant looked quite worried as she said, "He's not a holy sun. He might be the primal chaos child. We've received news that everything the Ming Yao Financial Group has done is for the primal chaos child." What? You Dancing Cicada looked quite confused. Chapter 2655. Book 1, Chapter 100. Chaosua Dancing Cicada was incredibly shocked. She had thought that Zhao Fu being a holy sun was already shocking enough, but she had never thought that Zhao Fu might be a chaos child. This identity was hundreds of times more terrifying than a holy sun. Was he really a chaos child? This matter was simply too important, so You Dancing Cicada said, "Wait at the door for now. I'll immediately report this to the higher-ups." The female attendant nervously nodded. After the higher-ups of the 12 Moons Financial Group heard about this, they were incredibly shocked and immediately reported this to the 12 Moon Lords. After hearing about this, the 12 Moon Lords were also quite shocked. They had never thought that they would be able to find the Chaos Child. They quickly hurried over to the Alliance City. This was a Chaos Child who controlled Chaos Essence energy. They wanted to obtain the method to strengthen Moon Essence energy from Zhao Fu. As part of the origin race, it would be quite easy for them to do so. The 12 Moon Lords did not want anything else. Their only goal was to ascend to Moonstar. Zhao Fu had been waiting in his room, but he sensed that someone was standing guard outside. That person seemed quite nervous, and Zhao Fu felt that something was off. Without hesitating, Zhao Fu's body turned into countless small insects and burrowed into the ground, leaving the 12 Moon Financial Group. Even though he did not know what had happened, he was certain that something had happened. Zhao Fu did not want to stay here, so he immediately left. After hearing that the 12 Moon Lords would personally come, Yu Dancing Cicada felt quite shocked and immediately went to her room to try and stall Zhao Fu, but she could not find him. "Where's that person?" Yu Dancing Cicada hurriedly asked. The female attendant looked quite confused as she said, "I've been standing guard outside and haven't seen him leave." Yu Dancing Cicada said hurriedly, "Immediately send people to look for him. It's possible that he really is that Chaos Child." The female attendant hurriedly left the room. A few days later, Zhao Fu returned to the place where he had arranged with the women. However, what surprised Zhao Fu was that only one group had returned. Before, Zhao Fu had split them into 5 groups led by 5 Emperor Heaven Realm experts. Now that 8 or 9 days had passed, and they had not returned, something must have happened. Bing Qingqing and Blood Flying Fish returned. Zhao Fu asked seriously, "Why are only you guys back? What happened to the others?" Flying Bloodfish said worriedly, "We're not sure either. You haven't returned for so long, so we thought something had happened to you." Zhao Fu recalled what had happened when he was buying blood in the Alliance City and asked, "Did anything happen when you guys were buying blood? Did anyone pay special attention to you?" Blood Flying Fish said, "We went to a large merchant group to buy essence blood, and we did attract some people's attention. However, to be careful, we only bought a small portion and then bought some more for some smaller shops. We bought around 4,000 kinds of essence blood." Zhao Fu said solemnly, "Something must have happened to them. The news of me buying blood essence has been leaked. Many people want to use this method to find me." Bing Qing said anxiously, "Let's hurry up and find them." Zhao Fu nodded. "I'll go alone. You guys just wait here." Bing Qingqing and Blood Flying Fish nodded. Zhao Fu turned into a ray of light and flew in a direction. This was where Ziyu, Ziyin, and Heilon Air had left. Within a private room, Ziyu and the other 2 women were sitting, their expressions quite grim. Ziyu said seriously, "We need to think of a way to leave this place. It's been so long, and everyone else has long since returned." Ziyin frowned. Mother, this is the City Lord's mansion. How are we supposed to leave?" Heilon Air lightly harumphed. "It's all your fault for looking for trouble." Ziyin angrily yelled, "I'm looking for trouble? That bastard was the one who took liberties with me. How could I not retaliate?" "Oh, I understand now. It's definitely because you like being taken liberties with by others." Heilon Air also said angrily, "I'm not that kind of woman. Only my husband has touched me. Also, I'm telling the truth. Wasn't this caused by you?" 2 days ago, Ziyu had brought the 2 of them to buy essence blood. Just as they were about to leave the Alliance City, a frivolous-looking man stopped them and said that Ziyin was his woman. Ziyin coldly told him to scram. This angered the man, and he suddenly leapt up, wanting to molest Ziyin. However, he was kicked away by Ziyin. The man was the son of the Alliance City's manager, and he called his father over. Seeing his son being beaten, his father did not hesitate to teach Ziyin a lesson. As Ziyin's mother, she definitely could not watch as her daughter was injured, and a fight erupted between the 2 of them. Following this, the other Alliance City's managers hurried over. Ziyu was not as strong as Zhao Fu, so she was suppressed by the managers. In that dangerous moment, Ziyin cried out, "Don't hurt my mother, or else you'll all die." This caused the managers to stop and ask about Ziyu and the two women's identities. Ziyu said that she was from Duo Valley and gave a simple explanation of what had just happened. Before, the managers were in the wrong and feared Duo Valley's strength. On one hand, they wanted to confirm their identities and have them send a message to Duo Valley so that they could come and take their people. On the other hand, they wanted to suppress Duo Valley, or else they would lose face as Alliance City's managers. Ziyu did not want this matter to spread to Duo Valley, so when she had left, she had planned to cut off contact with Duo Valley and did not tell anyone else that she had left. In the end, she was kept by the managers in the city hall. The frivolous-looking young man pleaded, "Father, I really like that woman. Please give her to me. I really like that woman. Just give her to me. It's been 2 days, and I don't think they're from Duo Valley. They dared to make a move in the Alliance City and broke the rules, so they should be punished." The long-faced, middle-aged man said, "Even if they are not the ones who stole the valley, that beautiful woman's cultivation is at the Emperor Heaven realm. Anyone with such cultivation is not an ordinary person." The frivolous man said, "So what? There are many Emperor Heaven realm experts. Father, you're from the Alliance, so who would dare to go against the Alliance? I've been dead for so long, so why not take that beautiful woman as your woman, and I'll take the other 2 women." When the middle-aged man heard this, he thought of Ziyu's beauty and felt a little tempted. The frivolous man laughed as he said, "Father, you're the manager of a rank 7 Alliance City, so it should be easy for you to obtain that beautiful woman. Trust me, she'll quickly submit to you." The middle-aged man thought for a moment. "All right, I can give it a try, but son, after you get those 2 women, you have to behave yourself and don't go around causing trouble." The frivolous man said with a smile, "Got it, Dad." The middle-aged man and the frivolous man came to the room, and the frivolous man said with a smile, "It's been 2 days. You don't want to be locked up here forever, right?" Chapter 2656. Book 1, Chapter 101. And of Book 1, Ziyin angrily glared at him. "Aren't you just spouting nonsense? Who wants to stay here forever?" The frivolous man gave a trace of a smile. "That's good. Now that you're my woman and my father's woman, you can immediately leave this place. I'm sincere towards you, and I promise not to touch other women." Ziyin said in disgust, "Don't even think about it." The middle-aged man warmly smiled as he said to Ziyu, "I apologize for what my son did in the past. I believe that with my current conditions, I won't be too bad. If you become my woman, I'll treat you sincerely. You'll also have the Alliance as your backing and won't have to wander around." Ziyu looked quite confused. She had never thought that the middle-aged man would place his attention on her. She coldly laughed. "Look at you and your son. Do you think you're worthy of my daughter and me?" Hearing this, the frivolous man furiously yelled, "Don't be so shameless. We can deal with you however we want." Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as a terrifying might covered the entire Alliance City, causing the air to become heavy and making it difficult for people to breathe. Everyone looked up at the sky in terror and thought to themselves, "Who dares to act so brazenly in the Alliance City?" A black-cloaked man stood in the sky, giving off a terrifying aura, as if he was a peerless expert. Sensing this aura, the expressions of the managers fell, and they hurriedly rushed out and flew into the sky. Seeing them appear, Zhao Fu said coldly, "Hurry up and hand over my people." The managers started to feel quite confused, but they immediately understood that Zhao Fu was related to Ziyu. One of the young men said, "This is the Alliance City. Don't you think Sir is going too far? Don't think that you can break the rules just because you're here to steal the valley." Sensing this aura, the middle-aged man flew out with a serious expression. Sensing this massive aura, Ziyu and the other 2 women looked delighted and walked out of their rooms, calling out in unison, "Husband!" The frivolous man looked quite confused. He had never thought that the woman he liked would already have a man. Moreover, both Ziyu and Ziyin were his women, which made him feel quite envious. Seeing that the 3 of them were fine, Zhao Fu let out a sigh of relief and said, "Leave the Alliance City with me." Seeing that he was ignored by Zhao Fu, the youth who had spoken earlier shouted angrily, I'm talking to you. Didn't you hear me? Zhao Fu coldly glared at him. His terrifying gaze caused the young man's heart to fill with fear, and he took a step back. Zhao Fu said coldly, "It's fine if I don't find trouble with you now, but you still dare to find trouble with me?" Boom! An even greater aura exploded out from Zhao Fu's body. It was a saint's aura that reigned above the heavens and earth, and the manager's bodies sank as they felt an immense pressure. Their expressions changed. They understood that the person in front of them was a holy son, and they indeed did not dare to offend him. Ziyu and the other two girls smiled and flew into the sky, arriving in front of Zhao Fu. Ziyan hugged Zhao Fu. "Why did you only come now? We were locked up by these people for 2 days. I was even bullied by the people here." A fearful expression appeared on the middle-aged man's face as he said, "My son was in the wrong. I apologize." Heilong said coldly, "Just an apology? How did you and that son of yours speak to us like that?" The middle-aged man's expression became even more unsightly. They had just wanted to force Ziyin to become their woman, but they had never thought that Zhao Fu would come looking for them. Facing a legendary holy son, the middle-aged man felt immense pressure, and he looked at the other managers. The other managers turned their heads away. This was a holy son, and they did not dare to offend him, much less participate in this matter. The middle-aged man turned his head and berated his son. "Hurry up and kneel down and admit your mistakes." The frivolous man's face paled, and he knelt on the ground. "I was wrong. Holy son, please let me off this time. I definitely won't dare to do it again." Ziyin lightly harumphed. "Now you regret it?" The frivolous man knelt on the ground in fear. "I'm sorry. I was too daring to offend you. I know I was wrong." Ziyin wanted to say something, but Zhao Fu said, "Let's leave this place as soon as possible." Hearing this, Ziyin did not say anything else and nodded in agreement. Everyone spent some time to return to the meeting place, and at that moment, Feng Xinsha's group returned. Seeing them return, Zhao Fu inwardly let out a sigh of relief. "Why did you only return now?" Feng Xinsha said, "After buying the essence blood, we were planning to return, but we were followed by some people. It took us a few days to shake them off, and we felt that they were from the Yao Ming financial group, so we bought the essence blood from them." This matter was mainly related to the Yao Ming financial group. They really wanted to see Zhao Fu and were willing to pay such a price. Skeletal Beauty softly asked, "Why haven't the others returned yet? Did they also encounter something like us?" Zhao Fu said, "I'm not sure about that. I still have to go take a look." Skeletal Beauty replied, "All right, hurry up and go. Since they haven't returned in such a long time, they must have encountered some danger. Let's go take a look at the other group." Zhao Fu thought about it and said, "Each group has an Emperor Heaven Realm expert leading them, but they still encountered danger. This means that ordinary Emperor Heaven Realm experts will not be able to resolve this matter. If you go, you'll be in danger, so I'll go. The other two groups aren't too far away." Skeletal Beauty lightly nodded. Zhao Fu said worriedly, "The people who stay here should be careful. If anything unexpected happens, immediately leave and don't wait for me here." The middle-aged man nodded. He had never thought that they would encounter such a thing, and he could only hope that the other two groups were not in danger. Arg! A pained cry sounded out as a sharp saber light cut off Shui Mu's arm, causing transparent blood to continuously flow out. Shing! Another saber light containing a sharp power slashed towards Shui Mu's body. Shui Mu immediately reverted to her original form, and countless tentacles grew out of her body and lashed out. The tentacles danced chaotically with great power, causing the ground to shatter, rocks to fly everywhere, and turbulence to spread in all directions. After a series of random attacks, it seemed that they had not hit anyone. A saber light suddenly brought with it an enormous gale as it sent Shui Mu's body flying back. A cold-looking young man laughed as he said, "Who would have thought that it would be a king-level insect beast? If we capture you, we can sell you for a large sum of money." Hong Qian blocked in front of Shui Mu and said furiously, "I won't let you succeed. You damn bitch. You can't even protect yourself, and you want to protect others? A middle-aged man said condescendingly. Hong Qian coldly glared at the middle-aged man because she was quite familiar with him. Chapter 2657. Book 1. Chapter 102. This man was Hong He, Hong Qian's husband. When the three women and Zhao Fu had left O Valley, Hong had guessed the relationship between Hong Qian and Zhao Fu, and he felt incredibly furious. However, because of the blood-flying fish, he did not dare to directly chase after Zhao Fu and the others, so he could only endure it for now. However, he had never thought that he would encounter the three women in the Alliance City. Hong He could not endure the fury in his heart and brought two other experts to stop the three women. Hong Yin begged, "Father, please don't be like this." Hong He furiously cursed, "Scram, you're a lowly woman, just like your mother." Hong Yin felt quite guilty towards her father and felt that she had let him down. Hong Qian said coldly, "I remembered our past relationship and gave you many good things from the treasury, but you actually attacked us. If I had known, I would have just let him kill you." Hong He loudly laughed. "He can kill me?" Hong Qian said, "He has Emperor Heaven Realm cultivation. Killing you people will be incredibly easy." Hearing this, Hong He felt quite surprised. He had never thought that Zhao Fu would also be at the Emperor Heaven Realm. However, he did not feel any fear and laughed as he said, "So what if he's very powerful? Can he save you? Don't worry, I won't let you die right away. I'll let you know the consequences of betraying me." A bald young man looked at Hong Yin and said evilly, "Hong He, I helped you this time. It's not too much for me to take your daughter, right?" Hong He lightly laughed as he said, "Take her as you please. I no longer see her as my daughter. Just looking at them makes me feel disgusted." The cold-looking young man said, "Then I want that king-class insect beast." Hong He laughed as he said, "Sure." Shing! A saber hum sounded out as the cold-looking young man turned into a ray of saber light and rushed forwards. Hong Qian swung the whip in her hand, sending out a powerful energy towards the cold-looking young man. The two of them collided, resulting in a massive explosion, and the cold-looking young man was blocked. Hong He threw a punch at Hong Qian with a ferocious gust of wind. Hong Qian swung the whip in his hand forcefully, creating a huge arc of light as it struck at Hong He. At that moment, the gloomy young man disappeared and reappeared beside Hong Qian, slashing at Hong Qian with his saber. Hong Qian didn't have time to react and was sent flying by the saber. A wound appeared on his arm, and blood flowed out continuously. A massive tentacle shot out with great power towards the gloomy-looking young man, and the young man coldly laughed as he slashed out with his saber, cutting off the tentacle. Shui Mu roared, and one tentacle after another shot towards the gloomy young man with a powerful force. Enraged, Red Core charged towards Red. Light Hong Yin wanted to help, but the bald young man stopped her and said with a smile, "You're mine now. Behave yourself." Hong Yin coldly snorted and slashed out with her sword. A sword light slashed towards the bald youth. The bald youth did not mind and waved his hand, causing a massive wave of power to shatter the sword light. The bald youth laughed as he said, "With your strength, you're not a match for me." Hong Yan's expression was cold as she continuously slashed towards the bald youth with her sword. She understood that she was not a match for the bald youth, but by holding him back, she would be able to help the others. The bald youth slapped out with his palms, causing a powerful force to shatter the incoming sword light. He then rushed towards Hong Yin, causing her to hurriedly run backwards. The bald youth teasingly looked at the running Hong Yin and laughed as he said, "Run faster, or else I'll catch up to you." Hong Yin immediately sped up and ran forwards. However, the bald youth quickly caught up to her. The difference in their cultivations was simply too great. Seeing the bald youth continuously close in on her, Hong Yan's expression became quite unsightly. Bang! A terrifying fist energy suddenly blasted out from the side, causing the bald youth to panic and use his hand to block. However, he was still sent flying by the fist energy, heavily crashing into the ground and creating a large crater. Blood leaked out of the bald youth's mouth as he angrily looked at the young man in the sky. Looking at the young man who had appeared, Hong Yin immediately gave a happy smile and called out, "Husband!" The bald youth looked quite surprised and understood that this young man was the person who had taken his wife and daughter from Hong He. Zhao Fu looked at Hong Yin and asked caringly, "Are you all right?" Hong Yin flew over to Zhao Fu's side and smiled as she said, "I'm not injured at all." Now, Hong Yin treated Zhao Fu the same way she treated the bald youth. The bald youth furiously roared and leapt up from the ground, causing the ground to instantly shatter. He gripped his fist and gave off terrifying power as he quickly rushed toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu coldly laughed and gripped his fist, causing a black aura flame to cover his fist and give off a shocking aura as he rushed towards the bald youth. Bang! The two people's fists collided, causing a ferocious gale to blast out in all directions. Countless plants were uprooted and rocks were sent flying. In the next moment, the bald youth's body flew backwards like a meteor, smashing open a large crater. He coughed up a large mouthful of blood and felt as if one of his hands had been broken. The massive shockwaves caused the other two people to stop and look over. Seeing that Zhao Fu had come, Shui Mu and Hong Qian looked quite delighted and relaxed. With Zhao Fu here, they did not have to be afraid. The two of them flew over to Zhao Fu's side. Hong He looked at the bald young man on the ground, and his expression became serious. Indeed, Hong Qian had said that Zhao Fu was very powerful and had Emperor Heaven Realm cultivation. The cold-looking youth flew over to Hong He and asked, "Is he that man?" Hong He nodded. Zhao Fu looked at Hong Qian and Shui Mu, who were both quite injured, and said, "Leave this to me. You two go and heal yourselves." Shui Mu and Hong Qian smiled and nodded, landed on the ground, and started to heal their wounds. Zhao Fu coldly looked at Hong He and said, "You two are seeking death." Hong He said furiously, "Trash, do you think your elder fears you? You dare to steal my women? I'll beat you to a pulp." Boom! Hong He exploded out with all of his power, and a red aura flame erupted around his body as terrifying shockwaves rippled out. Bang! Hong He punched out, and a red fist that was hundreds of meters wide gave off a shocking aura as it slammed toward Zhao Fu, seeming to be able to shatter a mountain. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and a simple black semicircular barrier appeared in front of Zhao Fu. Boom! The terrifying fist slammed against the barrier with shocking power, turning into a wild red gale that blew out, resulting in a massive explosion. However, it did not deal much damage to the barrier. The cold-looking youth suddenly appeared next to Zhao Fu and raised his saber, slashing towards Zhao Fu with enough power to split apart mountains. Zhao Fu's body instantly disappeared and reappeared next to the cold-looking youth. He vigorously kicked out, hitting the cold-looking youth's waist and sending him flying like a rubber ball. Chapter 2658, Book 1, Chapter 103. Zhao Fu looked at Hong He. Hong He's expression changed. Zhao Fu's body disappeared in an instant. Hong He felt a strong sense of danger and did not dare to attack. He used his hands to block in front of him and defended with all his might. At that moment, Zhao Fu appeared in front of Hong He. His fist gave off a black light and a terrifying power as it landed on Hong He's arms. Hong He roared and used all of his strength, causing the muscles on his arms to bulge. Bang! A muffled sound rang out as Hong He was sent flying by that terrifying power. His hands were red and swollen, and blood flowed out. Hong He's expression was unsightly. Now that he had personally experienced Zhao Fu's terrifying power, he knew how terrifying Zhao Fu was. Even with his full strength, he could not block a single punch from Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu said with a cold smile, "I already said that you're courting death." Bang! Zhao Fu's body disappeared in an instant and appeared in front of Hong He. He kicked out forcefully, sending Hong He's body towards the ground. Clang! A loud saber hum sounded out as the cold-looking young man raised the saber in his hand. The saber gave off countless rays of light, forming a saber that was hundreds of meters long. It brought with it the power to split the heavens and earth as it slashed towards Zhao Fu. Countless saber lights poured out. In that instant, Zhao Fu was drowned by the saber lights. A saber wall formed from saber lights appeared in midair, giving off an extremely sharp aura as if it could cut through skin. However, when the saber lights dissipated, Zhao Fu was not injured at all and stood on the spot. The cold-looking young man looked stunned. Zhao Fu turned into a ray of light and rushed towards the cold-looking young man. The cold-looking young man actually turned and ran. He was afraid and understood that he was not a match for Zhao Fu. Bang! A muffled sound rang out as the cold-looking young man was struck down and heavily smashed onto the ground. Countless rocks were sent flying and dust filled the air. The three people who had been so arrogant just now were now lying on the ground in a sorry state. The cold-looking young man begged in fear. "Don't kill me. I'm begging you. I can hand over my treasures." Shui Mu coldly harumphed. "Master, don't let him go. This guy hurt me badly." Zhao Fu's gaze turned cold as he stretched out his hand, which turned into a massive black hand that grabbed towards the cold-looking young man. The cold-looking young man became determined and slashed out with his saber with all his strength, causing a massive saber light to slash toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu's massive black hand grabbed the saber light and gripped it. The saber light directly shattered, and the black hand continued to slap towards the cold-looking young man. Boom! A deafening sound rang out as the gigantic black hand slammed into the ground, causing the ground to tremble. The black hand dissipated, and a gigantic palm print appeared on the ground. The cold-looking young man was lying in the center, his body sunk into the ground, no longer breathing. Fu 1. Out. S of 5. Fu. Li another. Another. Fu. I Li of. Finally, Zhao Fu looked at Hong He in terror. Hong He looked at Zhao Fu in terror, and his body slightly trembled. Knowing how monstrous Zhao Fu's power was, even if his woman was taken by Zhao Fu, he would choose to endure it. After all, being alive was better than being dead. It was a pity that there was no point in regretting. It was evident that Zhao Fu would not let him off. Zhao Fu's expression was cold as he once again stretched out a hand. Countless traces of black aura flowed out and turned into a massive hand that slapped towards Hong He with immense power. Hong Yin looked at her father and could not help but beg, "Husband, can you let my father off this time?" Zhao Fu stopped and felt quite hesitant. Hong Qian came to Zhao Fu's side and said softly, "Give him one last chance. After all, we were husband and wife, and he's Hong Yan's father. Moreover, we've let him down." Hong He also pleaded, "I was wrong. Please let me off this once. I have no objections to Hong Qian becoming your woman. I wish you all the best." Zhao Fu looked at the red core and hesitated. Hong Qian stepped forward, hugged Zhao Fu, and said softly, "This is the last time. If he dares to do this again, I won't stop you from killing him." Zhao Fu looked at Hong Qian in his arms and nodded. "Get lost." Hong He heaved a sigh of relief. Afraid that Zhao Fu would go back on his word, he hurriedly ran to the side, looking very disheveled. Hong Yin said with a smile, "Thank you, husband." Zhao Fu looked at them and asked, "How are your injuries recovering?" Hong Qian replied, "I've recovered a little." Zhao Fu said, "Then I'll help you guys recover from your injuries. Later on, you guys have to go back on your own. I have other places to go." Hong Qian asked curiously, "What happened?" Zhao Fu said, There's still a team that hasn't returned. They most likely ran into some danger." Hong Qian said, "Don't help us recover from our injuries. Hurry and see what happened to that team." Zhao Fu thought about it and said, "Be careful." Hong Qian smiled and nodded. Zhao Fu was also worried about the safety of the last team, so he did not waste any time and turned into a ray of light and disappeared over the horizon. Immediately, Zhao Fu went to an alliance city. However, after carefully sensing around, he could not sense Erisina. Zhao Fu had a powerful sense for all women, and Zhao Fu had used this ability to find them. If Erisina wasn't in this alliance city, then where would she go? On the way back, Zhao Fu sensed around and could not find Erisina's aura. Zhao Fu frowned and planned to go to the Alliance City to ask around to see if anyone had seen Erisina and the others. After asking around, Zhao Fu did not find any information about Erisina, but he found out that a historical remnant was about to open and had attracted countless people. Zhao Fu wondered if Erisina had gone to this historical remnant. He heard that this historical remnant was a blood demon historical remnant, and it was related to blood. Erisina most likely wanted to go there to help him obtain a lot of rare blood. After hearing about the historical remnant, Zhao Fu immediately flew in that direction. After spending half a day, Zhao Fu arrived near the historical remnant and carefully sensed around. Indeed, he sensed Erisina and quickly flew towards her. Erisina was standing on an empty area with the Lan Banyuan brothers standing next to her. There were many people standing around them, most likely people who wanted to enter the historical remnant. Seeing that they were fine, Zhao Fu let out a sigh of relief and landed beside them. Erisina looked at Zhao Fu and said in surprise, "Why are you here?" Zhao Fu said, "A few teams ran into danger when I went back, and I was worried about you guys, so I came to find you." Erisina smiled and hugged Zhao Fu as she said, you can relax now." Chapter 2659. Book 1. Zhao Fu was stunned. Because of time constraints, Zhao Fu had only heard about the blood demon historical remnant and did not know anything else. As such, he asked, "How long until the blood demon historical remnant opens?" Erisina said, "It should be opening soon. We've been waiting here for 3 days." Zhao Fu continued to ask, "Do you know anything about this blood demon?" Erisina nodded. "This blood demon is a demonic creature that was born from blood water and has the power to devour all kinds of blood. With this ability and potential, it became a monstrous expert and became bloodthirsty. In the end, it was killed here by a peerless expert, and this place became the blood demon historical remnant. There are all sorts of monsters related to blood within the blood demon historical remnant, as well as some treasures that the blood demon collected. I heard that there might be divine blood, so I came." Zhao Fu felt quite surprised. There might be divine blood, so he felt even more anticipation towards the blood demon historical remnant. A few hours later, boom, a massive explosion sounded out as space continuously twisted and a shocking power spread out. Countless blood-red clouds covered the sky, and a dense, bloody smell spread out. A large hole appeared in the sky, and within the hole was a blood-red region. Seeing that the historical remnant had opened, countless people immediately flew up from the ground and flooded into the large hole. Zhao Fu did not rush in with them, and he waited until most of them had gone in before entering with Erisina. As for the Lan brothers, they stayed outside. Their cultivations were too low, and they might cause trouble for them. After flying into the blood-red region and seeing that the sky was blood-red, the ground was blood-red, and there were all sorts of blood-red plants growing all around them, Zhao Fu felt quite delighted. He felt that this was a suitable place to cultivate the number 1 evil celestial bloodline. Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Let's go and have a look." This was just the outer region of the blood demon historical remnant, and there were not many good things here. Even if there were, they would have been plundered by people before, so Zhao Fu did not waste any time here. After flying for a while, Zhao Fu saw a massive blood-red bug with many fangs and a blood-red eye leap out of the blood water and devour a few people. Those people did not even have time to scream before they died. This place was very dangerous, and the mortality rate was very high. The crimson worm was still not satisfied after eating a few people. It looked at Zhao Fu and the rest coldly, and its huge body flew toward Zhao Fu. The crimson bug came to Zhao Fu's side, opened its mouth, and bit at Zhao Fu and Zhao Fu. Facing the incoming mouth, Zhao Fu remained calm and unafraid. Just as the bloodworm was about to devour Zhao Fu opened his mouth. In an instant, Zhao Fu's mouth became even bigger than the blood-red bug's body. This caused the blood-red bug's expression to freeze, and before it could react, it was swallowed by Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu's mouth quickly returned to normal, and the blood-red bug that Zhao Fu had swallowed turned into countless traces of blood-red energy that scattered throughout Zhao Fu's body. Aracena rolled her eyes at Zhao Fu. "Don't be such a bad person." Zhao Fu chuckled. "The essence of the bloodworm here can improve the bloodline of the first evil immortal. It is of some use to me." The two of them continued to fly forward and arrived in front of a blood-colored tree. This blood-colored tree was more than 100 meters tall. Its branches were luxuriant. Its trunk was blood-colored, and its leaves were triangular. There were many fruits that looked like blood jades, and they were the size of grapes. The tree was protected by a barrier, and there were many people standing around it. Zhao Fu was a little confused. Why were they standing here and not going forward to break the barrier and obtain the blood fruits? This barrier did not seem very sturdy. After waiting for more than a minute, Zhao Fu could not wait any longer, and he flew forward. Seeing Zhao Fu fly up, everyone smiled. This tree was called the Blood Dragon Tree, and its fruits were called Blood Dragon Fruits. They could strengthen bloodlines and physiques, and they were very valuable. The Blood Dragon Tree still needed some time to mature, but if Devour had a lot of flesh, it would mature earlier. Everyone had come here a few times, and they knew about this. Usually, newcomers did not know about this, and seeing Zhao Fu fly over foolishly, no one stopped him. Whoosh! When Zhao Fu approached the Blood Dragon Tree, the tree produced a huge suction force, and the people around felt that their blood was being sucked out of their bodies. Their expressions changed, and they quickly retreated. They felt that this suction force was many times stronger than before. Zhao Fu was not affected at all, and this suction force could not absorb the origin blood in Zhao Fu's body. Everyone looked quite confused, and seeing that Zhao Fu was not affected at all, he continued to fly forwards. Understanding that Zhao Fu was not simple, the Blood Dragon Tree gave off an even greater suction force, and it was like a wild gale. The blood-red aura, rocks, and weeds in the surroundings all flew towards it, causing everyone to look serious as they continued to retreat. However, Zhao Fu was not affected at all, and he came in front of the Blood Dragon Tree. The massive suction force stopped, and countless blood-red tendrils shot out from the ground, rushing towards Zhao Fu like a flood. Zhao Fu did not do anything, and the countless roots quickly wrapped around Zhao Fu, forming a massive ball of trees. Seeing this, everyone felt quite confused. Why was that person not resisting? A while later, a tall and skinny young man said in shock, "Is that person dead?" A woman in green shook her head. "I don't know, but even Emperor Heaven Realm experts will be in danger if they are bound by the Blood Dragon Tree." An elder said, "Let's hope that the Blood Dragon Tree will be able to mature after absorbing his essence blood." Within the ball of trees, Zhao Fu's expression was calm and did not look like he was in danger at all. The many roots wrapped around Zhao Fu's body, trying to absorb Zhao Fu's blood, but they were unable to absorb any of it. Zhao Fu said in boredom, "With your abilities, you won't be able to absorb any of my blood." The Blood Dragon Tree said in a clear female voice, "Who are you? Why can't I absorb any of your blood?" Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "Because you can't absorb any of my blood with your power." The Blood Dragon Tree's power was blood energy, which was completely suppressed by Zhao Fu's bloodline power. The difference in power was massive, so even if Zhao Fu did not defend and allowed the Blood Dragon Tree to absorb his blood, it would not be able to absorb any of it. The Blood Dragon Tree cried out in disbelief, "Impossible! My power comes from Lord Blood Demon's primal chaos demon bloodline. That's an incredibly powerful power. How could I not be able to absorb your blood?" Zhao Fu said condescendingly, "What kind of trash power is that? Can it compare to bloodline power?" The Blood Dragon Tree said angrily, "You dare to insult Lord Blood Demon? I'll kill you." The Blood Dragon Tree gave off a massive blood-red chi, and the countless roots wrapped around Zhao Fu tightened, wanting to strangle Zhao Fu to death. Zhao Fu vigorously struggled, and a terrifying force bounced all of the roots away. Chapter 2660. Book 1. Chapter 105. Everyone looked at Zhao Fu in confusion, feeling that this person was not ordinary. Boom! The blood dragon tree gave off an even greater power, and its many roots gave off immense power as they shot toward Zhao Fu. There were so many roots that it was impossible to count them. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and a wave of blood-red qi flowed out from Zhao Fu's palm and entered the many roots, causing them to stop. The blood void tree was horrified to find that she was losing control of her body. The blood-red qi flowed into her body and completely suppressed her body. This power far surpassed anything she could imagine, making it so that she could not resist at all and could only watch as her body was controlled. Zhao Fu gave a faint smile and grabbed at the air with his hand. The massive blood void tree continuously changed and turned into a woman with long, blood-red hair. This woman had long, blood-red hair and a few leaves on her head. She had a delicate and pretty face and a slim figure. Her clothes were also made of leaves. The blood void tree's blood-red eyes angrily glared at Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu smiled and hugged her as he prepared to leave. The people in the surroundings hurriedly stopped Zhao Fu. They were all waiting for the blood void tree's fruits. So how could they just watch as Zhao Fu took the blood void tree away? Zhao Fu looked at the people surrounding him and said, "What? You want to take it?" A ferocious-looking elder said coldly, "You want to take the blood void tree's main body and leave nothing behind?" Zhao Fu said, "You mean I have to leave something behind?" The ferocious-looking elder coldly replied, "Of course, you could take some of the blood void tree's fruits and leave the main body behind." Zhao Fu asked angrily, "Why? The blood void tree is there, but you don't take it. Why do you want it from me?" The ferocious-looking elder gave off a massive Emperor Heaven Realm aura as he said, "Why? Because of our strength." Boom! Boom! The others also gave off Emperor Heaven Realm auras, causing the air around them to become heavier. Apart from them, everyone else was looking at Zhao Fu with unkind expressions. They wouldn't let Zhao Fu take all the benefits. The blood dragon tree chuckled, "You better behave yourself. With so many people here, you're not their match." Zhao Fu said coldly, "Then there's nothing more to say." Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as a massive power erupted from Zhao Fu's body. That evil, twisted, bloody, and perverted power caused everyone's hair to stand on end. An insect beast that was as big as a grasshopper, an insect beast that was as big as a centipede, an insect beast that was as big as a beetle, an insect beast that was as big as an ant, and an insect beast that was as big as a wasp instantly came out of Zhao Fu's body and gave off ferocious power as they flew toward the Emperor Heaven Realm experts. The Emperor Heaven Realm experts hurriedly took out their weapons and gave off powerful energy to defend. Bang! Bang! The Emperor Heaven Realm experts were sent flying back 10 or so meters, and a trace of blood leaked out of their mouths as their expressions became quite unsightly. Zhao Fu hugged the blood dragon tree with one hand and gave off a terrifying aura as he said domineeringly, "Who else dares to fight over it?" The Elder and the Emperor Heaven Realm experts remained silent. They understood that Zhao Fu was far more powerful than them. Everyone looked at each other, but facing Zhao Fu's terrifying power, no one dared to say anything. A short young man called out, "Don't be afraid. We have so many people." Hearing this, everyone made a decision and gathered their power as they charged at Zhao Fu. The blood dragon tree's fruits were already quite precious, and the blood dragon tree itself was even more so. If Zhao Fu took it away, he would not have any more blood dragon tree fruits in the future. Zhao Fu swung out a hand, and countless insect beasts flowed out, turning into a massive arm that he vigorously swung out. Bang! 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 Muffled explosions sounded out as the people charging over were swept away like gravel, unable to resist at all. Zhao Fu's terrifying arm grabbed out, grabbing 10 or so people's bodies. He then vigorously clenched, causing 10 or so people's bodies to explode and blood to fly everywhere. Boom! Zhao Fu vigorously waved his hand, and his massive and terrifying arm once again sent the people charging at him flying. Everyone in the surroundings looked terrified as they looked at Zhao Fu's terrifying arm. Just what kind of monster was this? Zhao Fu's voice was incredibly domineering as he said, "Keep going." By now, no one dared to charge up anymore. Just then, so many people had charged over, and most of them had died. Those who were lucky enough to survive were all heavily injured. The Emperor Heaven Realm experts had not dared to charge up before, and now they did not dare to do so. Zhao Fu coldly harumphed and walked to the side with the blood dragon tree. No one dared to stop Zhao Fu and could only watch as Zhao Fu used his power. Seeing Zhao Fu's power, the blood dragon tree felt quite afraid. Erisina gave a faint smile as she followed behind Zhao Fu. She had not done anything before, as she understood that Zhao Fu had the power to deal with this. Zhao Fu brought the two of them to a place, and the blood dragon tree returned to its original tree form. Zhao Fu took all of the blood dragon tree fruits, which were 3,000 or so in total. Zhao Fu tasted one and found that it tasted quite disgusting, as it had a dense taste of blood. It did not improve his bloodline much. Zhao Fu felt quite disappointed and had the blood dragon tree change back to its human form. Being played around by Zhao Fu, the blood dragon tree angrily said, "What do you want to do to me?" Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and 8 runes appeared, and blood was extracted from the blood dragon tree. As Zhao Fu sucked the blood dragon tree's blood, he replied, "I'm not doing anything. Tell me what you want to know." The blood dragon tree angrily glared at Zhao Fu. She had wanted to suck Zhao Fu's blood, but now that Zhao Fu was sucking her blood, she could not resist and asked, "What do you want to know?" After fusing the blood dragon tree's blood into the first evil immortal bloodline, the effects were even greater than fusing with a sovereign's bloodline. This caused Zhao Fu to smile in delight. This blood devil historical remnant was quite extraordinary, and it would definitely be of great benefit to Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu said, "Is there anything similar to yours? Are there any other treasures?" The blood dragon tree said, "If I tell you, will you let me go?" Zhao Fu said, "I won't, but if you don't tell me, I'll make you feel pain." The blood dragon tree angrily harumphed, "I don't know either. Back then, I was just a tree planted by Lord Blood Demon, and after absorbing blood for countless years, I became like this." Zhao Fu thought about it. "Then how much do you know about the Blood Demon?" The Blood Abyssal Tree said worshipfully, "Lord Blood Devil was a very powerful existence, and he treated us very well. However, such a good Lord Blood Devil was killed, and Blood Devil's cultivation has fallen to this state. I will definitely take revenge for Lord Blood Devil." Apex. Chapter 2661. Book 1. Chapter 106. Zhao Fu was slightly puzzled. Wasn't this blood devil said to be bloodthirsty? Why would it treat the blood dragon tree well? However, thinking about how it might treat its own people well, it might be cruel to others. Zhao Fu was not very concerned about this. He asked, "I only want to know what benefits I can get from you. There's no need to say anything else." The blood dragon tree said angrily, "I have a strong sense in the blood devil realm. I can help you find some good things." Zhao Fu nodded his head in satisfaction. The blood dragon tree probed, "If I help you find treasures, can you let me go?" Zhao Fu smiled. "No." The blood dragon tree stared at Zhao Fu angrily. She did not want to help Zhao Fu, but she was afraid that Zhao Fu would torture her. Zhao Fu let the blood dragon tree sense and followed her to search for treasures. A few hours later, Zhao Fu followed the blood dragon tree to a huge blood lake. It was tens of thousands of miles wide. The lake water was constantly tumbling. In the middle of the lake, there was a pearl that was emitting intense blood light. This pearl was so eye-catching, but no one took it away. This place must be very dangerous. The blood dragon tree said, "That pearl is Lord Blood Devil's treasure, the demonic god blood pearl. It is a powerful blood attribute treasure. However, there are countless terrifying bloodworms hidden under the blood lake. They will devour anyone who wants to get close." Zhao Fu nodded his head and walked towards the blood lake. The blood dragon tree and Aracena stood on the spot. As Zhao Fu continued to walk forward, the tumbling blood lake started to boil. Worm beasts popped their heads out from the bottom of the lake. Some looked like lizards, some looked like otters, some looked like crocodiles, some looked like monkeys, and some looked like snakes. Numerous blood-red eyes stared coldly at Zhao Fu. No one dared to get close. A chill ran down their spine. Zhao Fu's lips curled up. He continued to walk towards the blood lake. He also wanted to find so many bloodworms. The bloodworms were stunned. Why wasn't this person afraid when he saw so many of them? Instead, he seemed to be happy. Ga. At that moment, countless screeches sounded out from within Zhao Fu's body. Zhao Fu's body instantly turned into countless bug beasts. There were ugly spiders, earthworms with teeth, ladybugs with human faces, and huge mosquitoes. All of them ferociously pounced towards the bloodworms in the lake. Countless blood bugs felt a sense of fear and instinctively wanted to escape. However, countless bug beasts leapt into the blood lake and started to devour the blood bugs. A huge earthworm bit off the head of a bloodworm. A mosquito beast pierced its mouth into the body of a bloodworm and sucked it dry. A long centipede coiled around a bloodworm and devoured it savagely. The blood bugs desperately resisted and used all sorts of abilities to attack the insect beasts. The two sides fought intensely, but they were not a match for the insect beasts. This was because the countless insect beasts were transformed from Zhao Fu, and each of them had great power. The blood abyssal tree looked at this chaotic scene in shock. It was a one-sided massacre and could not help but ask, just what kind of monster is this person? A while later, Zhao Fu was able to easily devour all of the blood bugs, and the first evil immortal received a great deal of power. The countless insect beasts once again gathered together and turned into Zhao Fu's appearance. Standing on the surface of the lake, Zhao Fu was about to go up and take the orb. Swish, swish, swish! Countless blood-colored vines suddenly shot out from all directions, and a black mass of vines shot toward Zhao Fu, looking incredibly terrifying. This move again, Zhao Fu could not help but laugh, and he stopped where he was. Countless vines wrapped around Zhao Fu's body, turning him into a massive ball that stood on the surface of the lake. The blood abyssal tree sighed. She knew that Zhao Fu was not in danger because she had suffered because of this. She wanted to devour Zhao Fu's blood, but she was unable to do so at all. It was the same for the blood-colored vines. After binding up Zhao Fu's body, she wanted to devour Zhao Fu's blood. She had been holding back and attacking Zhao Fu all this time for this opportunity. The blood-colored vines looked quite startled. She was startled to find that she was unable to devour Zhao Fu's blood. This was the first time she had encountered something like this. Zhao Fu lightly laughed, and a massive wave of blood qi flowed out from his body, quickly entering the blood-colored vines. The blood-colored vines hurriedly tried to retract the countless vines, but it was too late. She was quickly losing control of her body. In the end, Zhao Fu stretched out a hand and grabbed towards the bottom of the lake. A massive wave of power spread out, and a woman was caught by Zhao Fu. This woman had a cold expression and blood-colored long hair. She had a graceful figure, and there were blood-colored vines wrapped around her body. She was the blood-colored vine's main body. The blood-colored vines vigorously struggled and cried out coldly, "Be ****, let me go." Zhao Fu carried the blood-colored vines and walked over to the orb. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the orb before returning to the surface of the lake. He threw the blood-colored vines to the side and looked at the orb. The orb could release boundless amounts of blood-red water and could change into all sorts of shapes. Zhao Fu could turn it into a blood-red sword, a blood-red chain, a blood-red lake, or even a powerful blood-red beast. It was incredibly powerful. Zhao Fu's eyes lit up as he looked at the orb. The blood dragon tree looked at the blood-colored vines on the ground and felt that they were in the same boat. It kindly advised, "Stop struggling and be more obedient." The blood-colored vines coldly said, "I won't submit." Aracena said with a smile, "This is the sentence I've heard the most." The blood dragon tree said, That fellow is incredibly despicable. It doesn't matter if you submit or not. In the end, you still have to listen to him. Do you have the strength to resist?" Hearing this, the blood-colored vines calmed down. Right now, she indeed did not have the strength to resist Zhao Fu, and doing all of this was useless. Zhao Fu did not use his power to restrain her and smiled as he said, "Be more obedient, or else you'll suffer." The blood-colored vines lightly harumphed and turned her head to the side. Zhao Fu looked at the blood dragon tree and asked, "What other treasures are there in other places?" The blood-colored vines reacted and said angrily, "So it was you who brought him here. How could you do this?" The blood dragon tree said helplessly, "I didn't want to, but I had no choice." Zhao Fu looked at the disobedient blood-colored vines and stretched out a hand. A wave of 6 desires, demonic chi flowed out and quickly entered the blood-colored vine's body. The blood-colored vine's face became red, and she angrily glared at Zhao Fu. The blood dragon tree said, "There is another place in front with a treasure." Zhao Fu smiled and brought the 3 of them to that place. It was in ruins, and most of the buildings had collapsed, with only a few remaining. The surroundings were filled with rubble and debris. Boom! Before Zhao Fu could get close, an explosion sounded out. Someone had arrived before him. Zhao Fu immediately flew into the depths of the ruins and saw a handsome young man fighting with a woman wearing blood-colored clothes with a flower of blood on her head. Terrifying shockwaves continuously spread out, blowing away the rubble and causing deafening sounds. Chapter 2662, Volume 1. Chapter 107. The 2 people's strengths were about the same, so it would take some time for a victor to be decided. Because of the appearance of Zhao Fu and the others, the 2 people did not use their full strength, as they were worried that Zhao Fu would attack them. That woman is a blood spirit flower that's thousands of years old. Her blood can allow men and women to maintain their youthful appearances, and it's a very rare treasure. Hearing this, Zhao Fu smiled and said, "You did well. I'll reward you later." The blood spirit tree had a bitter expression and did not say anything. Zhao Fu looked at the sky and yelled, "Can't you guys end this battle quickly?" The 2 people fighting in the sky stopped, and the handsome man said, "I'm Long Blood Sex Shui Wuya. May I know your name?" Zhao Fu said, "There's no need to introduce yourself. I want this blood spirit flower. If you don't leave now, we'll fight." Long Blood Sect let out a sigh of relief and said, "My goal is not this blood spirit flower, but the blood spirit divine pill on her. I need to take this blood spirit divine pill back to save my big sister. If you can give me this medicinal pill, I'll greatly thank you." Zhao Fu turned to look at the blood spirit tree and asked, "What's the medicinal pill for?" The blood spirit tree said, "The medicinal pill has powerful blood energy and can bring the dead back to life. It can also heal a large amount of blood essence loss." Zhao Fu thought about it and said, "That's not a problem." Shui Wuya smiled and said, "Then let's work together. With your help, we should be able to subdue this blood spirit flower quickly." The blood spirit flower coldly harumphed and said, "Despicable and shameless. If you have the ability, then go one by one." Zhao Fu lightly laughed and said, "All of you stand down. I'll do it by myself." Seeing how confident Zhao Fu was, Shui Wuya felt that Zhao Fu was very powerful, so he nodded and retreated to the side. The blood spirit flower's expression became serious, and she understood that Zhao Fu was very powerful. The blood spirit flower decided to attack first. Wielding the sword formed from its petals, it quickly charged at Zhao Fu. It vigorously swung its sword, and a blood-red sword arc slashed toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu remained calm. With a wave of his sword fingers, a black sword arc appeared and cut the blood-colored sword arc in half. The blood spirit flower was stunned. She had not expected Zhao Fu to block her attack so easily. Zhao Fu stretched out a hand, and a formless energy flowed out, turning into a large formless hand that grabbed at the blood spirit flower. The blood spirit flower's body transformed into countless petals, dodging Zhao Fu's attack. Zhao Fu looked in another direction, and the blood spirit flower quickly fled in that direction. Now, she understood how strong Zhao Fu was, and she was not his match at all. The blood spirit flower turned and saw that Zhao Fu was still there, and she let out a sigh of relief. In that instant, a hand grabbed her throat, and the blood spirit flower looked at Zhao Fu in terror. How had Zhao Fu appeared in front of her in the next second? The blood spirit flower tried to struggle free from Zhao Fu's grasp. Zhao Fu tightened his grip, and the blood spirit flower immediately felt as if her throat was going to break. She found it difficult to breathe, and her legs kicked wildly. The blood spirit flower felt as if she was going to die. The blood spirit tree hurriedly cried out, "Don't kill her." Zhao Fu loosened his grip on her throat, allowing her to breathe in a few breaths of fresh air. A massive wave of 6 desires demonic chi entered her body, controlling her body, and Zhao Fu let go of her. The blood spirit flower breathed heavily and looked at Zhao Fu in fear. Shui Wuya came in front of Zhao Fu and took out a few treasures as he said, "I'm willing to use these to exchange for the blood spirit divine pill." Zhao Fu said, "I don't want these. I want her essence blood and other essence blood." Shui Wuya's status was quite noble, and his bloodline was an imperial bloodline. If he absorbed the essence blood, he would be able to greatly increase his bloodline's power. Hearing this, Shui Wuya thought about it and gave some of his essence blood and some essence blood from his storage ring to Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu put away the essence blood and looked at the blood spirit flower as he said, "Give him the medicinal pill." The blood spirit flower was very afraid of Zhao Fu, so it obediently took out a blood crystal-like medicinal pill and gave it to Shui Wuya. Shui Wuya took the medicinal pill and smiled as he said, "Many thanks. I'll be leaving now. If you pass by the Bloodlong sect in the future, please let me know. I'll properly thank you then." Zhao Fu smiled and nodded. Shui Wuya turned into a ray of blood-red light and left. Zhao Fu looked at the terrified blood spirit flower and smiled as he hugged her and said softly, "If you're obedient, I won't hurt you." The blood spirit flower was still very nervous and did not dare to resist Zhao Fu. However, she understood that Zhao Fu would not kill her, so she let out a sigh of relief. Zhao Fu let go of the blood spirit flower and looked at the blood bamboo tree as he asked, "Where else are there treasures?" 2 days later, Zhao Fu went to a few more places and obtained a few more treasures. Zhao Fu did not want to stay in the center of the Blood Demon ruins any longer and planned to head to the depths of the ruins. After flying for a while, a voice sounded out, "Save me." Zhao Fu and the others stopped and looked in the direction of the voice. They saw a cute girl with blood-red hair, tied into 2 ponytails and clothes made of grass, surrounded by a group of ferocious-looking people. The girl saw that there were many people like her around Zhao Fu and thought that Zhao Fu was a good person, so she asked Zhao Fu for help. Hearing this, Zhao Fu gave a trace of a smile, and the others looked at him sympathetically. Zhao Fu flew over. A ferocious-looking big man coldly called out, "We found this blood water grass with great difficulty, so I advise you not to meddle in other people's business. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite." The blood water grass was afraid that Zhao Fu would really leave, so she immediately said, "I know you're a good person, and I'm willing to follow you. I don't want to be captured by these people, so please save me." Zhao Fu looked at the big man and lightly laughed as he said, "Did you hear that? She's willing to follow me, so hurry up and leave." The ferocious-looking big man was enraged and leapt up from the ground. He held his saber and gave off a powerful aura as he rushed toward Zhao Fu. He quickly arrived in front of Zhao Fu and vigorously slashed toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu calmly looked at the ferocious-looking big man and waved his fingers, causing a sharp black arc of light to flash out. Chi! The ferocious-looking big man's head was chopped off, causing blood to spurt out. His corpse powerlessly fell to the ground, causing some dust to fly up. This scared the others, who had wanted to rush over, to stop. Zhao Fu looked at the others and said, "Who wants to continue? My time is limited, so hurry up." Everyone looked around, and no one dared to speak. Zhao Fu was much stronger than them, and even though they felt quite dissatisfied, they could only endure. Zhao Fu looked at the girl and smiled as he said, "Leave with me now, and I'll protect you in the future." The girl happily nodded and said, "Thank you, big brother." A voice suddenly sounded out, "You can't take her away." Chapter 2663. Book 1. Book 1. Chapter 108. Translated by Hypersheep 325. Edited by Mike. Hearing this voice, everyone turned and saw a ferocious-looking woman with blood-red hair and clothes made of grass. The blood-water grass happily called out, "Big sis, you're finally here." The blood spirit grass came to the blood-water grass's side and asked caringly, "Are you all right?" The blood-water grass happily shook her head. "I'm fine. It was this kind big brother who saved me." The blood spirit grass said, "Thank you." After saying this, the blood spirit grass took her little sister and left. Everyone else looked at Zhao Fu and did not dare to stop them. Zhao Fu lightly laughed as he said, "It's best if you two follow me, or else it'll be very dangerous with your strength." The blood-water grass pulled on her big sister and said, "Big sis, big brother is right. Big brother is right. If the two of us meet an expert, it will be very dangerous. It's better to follow big brother. Look, there are people like us around him." The blood spirit grass looked at the blood-water grass and the others. Even though they did not know them, as creatures of this world, they could be trusted. Zhao Fu also looked at the blood-water grass. Facing Zhao Fu's gaze, the blood-water grass said, He's a good person, a very good person. He'll save us creatures of the blood demon world. You can follow him without worry." The blood-water grass smiled as she said, "Big sis, did you hear that? I know big brother is very good." The blood spirit grass thought about it and said, "All right, we sisters are willing to follow Lord." Zhao Fu gave a harmless smile and nodded. Come with me." They continued to fly deeper into the historical remnant. "Big brother, the depths of the relic are very dangerous. Lore blood demon left behind many blood evil spirits that will kill anyone who enters that place." Zhao Fu hugged the young girl and said, "I know, but with my strength, there won't be any danger." The young girl's face became red, but she did not resist and nodded shyly. The blood spirit grass looked quite displeased. How could this person take advantage of her little sister? Seeing that her little sister did not seem unhappy, she could not say anything. Soon, they met the so-called evil blood spirits. The evil blood spirits were humanoid and did not have corporeal bodies. There were men and women, old and young, and they gave off a blood-red light. The countless evil blood spirits sensed Zhao Fu and immediately gave off a massive aura as they flooded over. Facing so many evil blood spirits, they all felt quite afraid. Zhao Fu's smile did not change as a massive blood-red aura exploded out from his body and spread out in all directions. Sensing this massive aura, the countless evil blood spirits scattered like a flood. Zhao Fu's bloodline power was like a fish in water here, and it could suppress everything. The spirit grass said, Big brother is so strong." The spirit, evil blood spirit demon, spirit, and flame, comma, 1, evil demon, 1, and 113, 1 end, and in 1 and in 2, 1, Zhao Fu, and 2 blood dragontree said, "Can you save him? He is a blood warrior serving Sir Blood Demon." Zhao Fu was just about to ask if there were any benefits in saving him when the cute girl in his arms said, "Big brother, you're the best. Please save that blood warrior. Almost all of the blood demon realm blood warriors are dead now." Hearing this, Zhao Fu helplessly smiled as he flew up and shouted, "All of you stop." However, no one listened to him because the people fighting all had Emperor Heaven Realm cultivation, and they completely ignored Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu cried out awkwardly, "Sigh. Didn't you hear me telling you to stop?" Everyone continued to fight, ignoring Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu frowned and a blood-red bead appeared in his hand. A large amount of blood flowed out, forming a massive blood-red sword. Zhao Fu vigorously swung out, and a massive blood-red sword light slashed towards the 5 cultivators. The 5 people's expressions fell, and they hurriedly used their weapons to block, but they were all sent flying by Zhao Fu. The 5 people's expressions became serious. They had never thought that Zhao Fu's power would be so great. A scholarly-looking young man asked, "What do you want?" Zhao Fu said simply, "I want to save him. You can all stop fighting." If an ordinary person said this, they would laugh, but when Zhao Fu said this, they felt immense pressure. The scholarly-looking young man asked, "He is a blood demon world creature. Why do you want to save him?" Zhao Fu asked, "Then why do you want to attack him?" The scholarly-looking young man said, "We didn't attack him first. He attacked us first. Could it be that we just let him attack?" Zhao Fu looked at the cold-looking young man and said, "All right, you don't need to attack them. Everyone doesn't need to fight anymore." The cold-looking young man said coldly, "Anyone who enters this place will die." The scholarly-looking young man lightly harumphed. "Did you see that? He also lists you as an enemy. It's best that you don't try to be a good person." Zhao Fu said helplessly, "You can leave. Leave him to me." The blood dragon tree and the others looked quite confused. They had come to save the cold-looking young man. So why were they helping others? The scholarly-looking young man smiled and said, "Thanks. I am sure Qianhe from the Blood Dragon sect. Can we be friends?" Another person from the Blood Dragon sect? Zhao Fu remembered that he had met a person from the Blood Dragon sect before, and he had never thought that he would meet people from the Blood Dragon sect again. He wondered what sort of faction this Blood Dragon sect was. Zhao Fu smiled and said, "Sure, I'm called Blood Demon." Sure, Qianhe felt quite startled. This name felt quite strange. After all, this was the Blood Demon historical remnant. So why was this person called Blood Demon? However, it was most likely a coincidence. Otherwise, this person would not have helped them. Sure, Qianhe smiled and said, "We'll be leaving first." They continued to fly forwards, and the cold-looking young man took out a blood-red spear and wanted to continue blocking them. A stream of blood chi poured into Zhao Fu's golden eye, and a number of blood-red chains shot out from the void towards the cold-looking young man. The cold-looking young man waved his spear and sent the chains flying, but there were too many of them. The cold-looking young man could not resist and was eventually bound by them. Zhao Fu looked at the blood dragon tree and the others. "I'll leave him to you now." The blood dragon tree and the others arrived in front of the cold-looking young man. The cold-looking young man's expression softened when he saw them. "You don't need to save me. The blood warrior's duty is to guard this place." The blood spirit flower said, "We all worship, respect, and love Sir Blood Demon, but Sir Blood Demon has been dead for so long. We need to think more about ourselves and not act like we did before." The cold-looking young man fell silent. The blood-water grass said, "We're now following Big Brother, and he's a very good person. We'll follow him and leave this place. You might as well follow him and become a master in the future. Perhaps you can even avenge Sir Blood Demon." "Yes, yes." Chapter 2664. Book 1, Zhao Fu. The cold-looking young man looked at Zhao Fu by the side. After a while, the cold-looking young man said, "Who is he? I feel that his bloodline power is dozens of times stronger than Lord Blood Demon's." Hearing this, the Bloodfall Tree and the others looked at Zhao Fu in shock. Even though they had been by Zhao Fu's side, they did not know Zhao Fu's identity and only knew that Zhao Fu was very powerful. The Bloodwater Grass asked curiously, "Big Brother, what is your identity?" Everyone else looked at Zhao Fu, feeling quite curious about how terrifying Zhao Fu's identity was. Facing everyone's gazes, Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Guess what my identity is?" The Bloodwater Grass said, "You're at least an Imperial Prince." The Bloodwater Tree said, "He most likely isn't an Imperial Prince. I've fought with him before, and his bloodline power is much more terrifying than an Imperial Prince's." The Bloodwater Grass cried out, "Then Big Brother is a holy son?" Everyone looked at Zhao Fu in shock. They knew how powerful a holy son was and how noble his identity was. He was even more noble than Lord Blood Demon. and they did not have the right to come into contact with a holy sun before. Erisina looked at Zhao Fu and said, "You like to keep people in suspense. He's not a holy son, but the son of origin." What? Everyone looked incredibly shocked as their hearts rapidly thumped and could not stop beating. They had never thought that Zhao Fu's identity would be so terrifying. Zhao Fu lightly laughed and said, "Hurry up and deal with your matters. I still have things to do." The cold-looking young man knelt down in excitement and said, "Sir, I would like to ask you to become Lord Blood Demon's legatee." Everyone else also knelt down and said, "Sir, please become Lord Blood Demon's legatee." The Blood Demon legacy was very powerful and was very famous in this region. However, compared to Zhao Fu's identity, which could shock even the entire outer world, there was still a great difference. Zhao Fu felt quite startled. This was the first time someone had asked him to become a legatee. Zhao Fu just so happened to lack fate and power, and in order to awaken a supreme emperor star, Zhao Fu did not refuse and said, "I agree." The cold-looking youth said excitedly, "Thank you, sir. Sir, please wait here for a while." The ruthless young man took out a blood-red token and threw it into the sky. The token turned into many streaks of blood-red light that shot out in all directions. Bloodwater Grass and the others also stood up and came to Zhao Fu's side. Bloodwater Grass looked at Zhao Fu with a look of worship, and the Blood Vine and Blood Spirit Flower did not have much conflict with Zhao Fu. Instead, they were much more respectful, as Zhao Fu was about to become the Blood Demon legatee. After 10 or so minutes, 10 or so streaks of blood-red light flew over from different directions and landed beside the ruthless young man. There were 14 people in total, 13 men and 1 woman. The woman was wearing a blood-red dress and had long blood-red hair. She wore a hat that looked like a mushroom, and she had a beautiful face and a mature temperament. Her name was Shui Gu, and she was the captain of the 10 or so blood warriors. The rest of the blood warriors mostly obeyed her orders. Shui Gu came to the ruthless young man and said, 12. Is this true? 12 was the ruthless young man, and he nodded excitedly as he pointed at Zhao Fu and said, "This is the child of origin." Shui Gu's beautiful eyes looked at Zhao Fu and said, "Apologies, child of origin. Please prove your identity." Boom! A terrifying might exploded out from Zhao Fu's body, locking down the surroundings. That primal chaos, desolation, and chaos power entered everyone's souls, and in front of this power, everyone wanted to submit, not daring to resist at all. Shui Gu took the lead and knelt down, and everyone said in unison, "Greetings, child of origin." It was the first time that everyone had felt such terrifying, chaotic source power, and they felt both excited and nervous, as well as a sense of respect. Zhao Fu lightly nodded and said, "Rise." Shui Gu said, "Child of origin, please follow us to the inheritance land. You will become Lord Blood Demon's inheritor and our master." Zhao Fu nodded. Shui Gu led the way, and Zhao Fu and the others followed. In front of a blood gate, everyone was fighting fiercely. They were all fighting for the opportunity to enter the blood gate, because as long as they could enter, it was possible for them to obtain the Blood Demon's inheritance and treasures of the blood attribute. Shi Qian and the others were also among them. The few of them were considered the stronger ones in this group. Aside from them, there was also a young man with hair that spread out in all directions, a cold middle-aged man, and the strongest one was the old man with blood-red hair, who looked like a mummy. Boom! The young man swung his large saber, and blood-red saber lights slashed out, giving off terrifying power as they slashed out in all directions, seeming to want to destroy everything. The gloomy young man summoned blood-red shadows that quickly attacked the people in the surroundings. Not only were all powerful, but they were also incredibly fast, and if one was not careful, one would be killed by a blood-red shadow. The old man waved his wrinkled hand, bringing out many bloody claws that clawed out in all directions like a violent storm. Claw marks were left on the ground, and strong winds blew, causing sand and stones to fly everywhere. The scene looked extremely terrifying. Boom! The young man once again slashed out, sending out a massive blood-red saber light that sent a few people flying. The young man then flew towards the blood gate and shouted, "The blood demon's inheritance is mine. Anyone who takes a step forward will die." Serene coldly harumphed and gave off a powerful aura as he rushed over, saying, "You want to obtain the blood demon's inheritance? Let's see if you have the ability." The young man stopped and furiously rushed at Serene, and the two of them immediately started to fight. The gloomy middle-aged man looked at the two people fighting and gave a trace of a cold smile before turning into a blood-red shadow and flying towards the blood gate. Boom! A blood-red bone claw containing great power grabbed towards the gloomy middle-aged man. The corpse-like old man attacked the gloomy middle-aged man, and the gloomy middle-aged man had no choice but to fight with the old man. The shockwaves from the four people's battle were incredibly terrifying, causing the ground to continuously crumble. The people in the surroundings did not dare to get close, or else they might die if they were not careful. Boom! A massive aura spread out like a flood, instantly inundating everything. Such a massive aura forced everyone to stop and look in that direction. They saw 10 or so blood warriors giving off terrifying auras leading the way. Behind them was a black-cloaked man, and beside him were a few beautiful blood-red-haired women. Shwegu looked at the people present and said coldly, "You don't need to fight needlessly. This great man behind me is the true inheritor of the blood demon's inheritance." Everyone's gazes fell on Zhao Fu's body, and they looked quite confused. How had Zhao Fu become the true inheritor of the blood demon's inheritance? Moreover, these blood warriors, who would kill anyone they saw, were leading the way for him. This was simply inconceivable. Chapter 2665, Volume 1, Chapter 1. 10 Chrissy Shurchina and the others knew Zhao Fu. So when they saw the cold-looking young man, their expressions became strange. Wasn't Zhao Fu the one who had blocked the cold-looking young man for them? Why did this cold-looking young man submit to Zhao Fu in the blink of an eye? The cold-looking middle-aged man frowned. The skinny old man stared at Zhao Fu coldly. The young man with the blood-red hedgehog head shouted angrily, "I refuse to accept this. Why can he directly obtain the bloodline inheritance without going through any tests?" Shwegu coldly said, "Why? You're not qualified to compare yourself with him." The hedgehog-head youth was very angry and felt humiliated, but he alone was not a match for so many blood warriors. So he shouted, "Everyone present, are you just going to watch him obtain the blood demon inheritance?" The cold-looking middle-aged man said, "Of course not. If you have any ability, show it to me. I want to see if you have the qualifications." Shwegu coldly said, "You're not even worthy of carrying his shoes. Whether he has the qualifications or not is not something you can say." Hearing this, the cold-looking middle-aged man's heart filled with anger, and his eyes filled with murderous intent. Shwegu swept his eyes around. "Everyone present, please leave immediately. Don't stop this sir from obtaining Sir Blood Demon's inheritance. Otherwise we will have no choice but to drive you away." When the people around heard this, they all felt extremely curious. Just what was Zhao Fu's identity? To be treated like this by the blood warriors. Shurchinha and the others thought about how Zhao Fu called himself the blood demon. Could he really be related to the blood demon? Shwegu ordered them to leave immediately, but everyone was very unwilling. They didn't want to leave like this. At this time, Zhao Fu said, "Then I'll give you all a chance. As long as anyone can defeat me, I will give this blood demon inheritance to that person." Everyone nodded. This was still acceptable to them. The hedgehog-head youth laughed. "Good. Let me defeat you." Asterisk boom. Asterisk the hedgehog-head youth gripped his blood-red saber and rushed towards Zhao Fu with a powerful momentum, his speed extremely fast. Zhao Fu dodged to the side, easily dodging the hedgehog-head's attack. The young man with the spiky head vigorously slashed out with his blood-red saber, sending out a massive blood-red saber light toward Zhao Fu. Zhao Fu's body once again disappeared and reappeared elsewhere, and the young man with the spiky head's attack once again missed. This made the young man feel quite furious. He raised his saber and sent a powerful wave of energy into it, causing the saber to burn with a massive blood-red aura flame. It instantly turned into a massive blood-red flame saber that gave off enough power to split mountains as it slashed towards Zhao Fu. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as the massive saber aura of flames was caught by Zhao Fu with a single hand, causing everyone present to look incredibly shocked. The young man with the hedgehog head also stared in shock. He had never thought that Zhao Fu would use such a method to receive his full-powered attack. Zhao Fu gave a calm smile as he grabbed the flame blade with his hand, breaking it in half. Zhao Fu then vigorously flung it out, causing the broken flame blade to turn into a blood-red stream of air and flow towards the young man with the hedgehog head. The young man with the hedgehog head felt a wave of terror and hurriedly tried to block it, but it seemed that it was too late. However, the blood-red stream of air did not harm him, and it blew past like a wild gale, causing his clothes to flutter. As the blood-red stream of air blew past, the young man with the hedgehog head was covered with cold sweat as he stood there. After a while, he came back to his senses and said, "I've lost. I'm indeed inferior to you. I'm convinced." Zhao Fu smiled as he said, "Is there anyone else who wants to give it a try?" After seeing Zhao Fu's terrifying power, everyone else did not say anything. They understood that they were not a match for him. After seeing Zhao Fu's strength, Shi Qianhe shook his head and did not plan on going up. The cold-looking middle-aged man did not say anything. In that instant, the skinny elder disappeared from where he was and appeared behind Zhao Fu, swiping at Zhao Fu with his claw. Zhao Fu dodged to the side and vigorously kicked out, causing the elder to hurriedly leap backwards to avoid this attack. Zhao Fu felt quite surprised that this elder had some strength, and Zhao Fu felt quite interested. He stretched out a hand, and countless traces of blood-red aura flowed out, forming a massive blood-red hand that grabbed at the elder. The elder also stretched out a hand, and countless traces of blood-red aura flowed out, forming a massive blood-red claw that swiped at Zhao Fu. Bang! The two of them collided, resulting in a massive explosion, and a powerful gale blew out. Zhao Fu did not take a single step back, but the elder took a few steps back and looked at Zhao Fu seriously. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out. The elder understood that he was not a match for Zhao Fu, so he used all of his strength. His body continuously grew until he was 1,000 meters tall and had silver hair, and he gave off a mountain-like aura. Everyone in the surroundings looked shocked and quickly retreated. The elder's strength far surpassed what they had expected. The elder waved his hand, and the massive corpse-like hand brought with it a ferocious gale as it slammed toward Zhao Fu. A massive sound rang out, and the stone tiles on the ground were blown into the air, creating a terrifying scene. Zhao Fu's expression became slightly serious as he stretched out a hand, and countless traces of blood-red light shot out from his palm, forming a thick blood-red barrier. There were also many insect images moving about on the surface. Bang! The corpse-like hand slammed into Zhao Fu's defensive barrier with terrifying power, and that terrifying power seemed to be able to destroy everything. The sky, ground, trees, and rocks were instantly blasted apart, turning into countless fragments that shot out like rain. The people in the surroundings were shocked as they unleashed defensive barriers, blocking the countless fragments. However, after everything settled, only a few cracks appeared on the barrier, and it had not been destroyed. The corpse raised its head and gave off a massive roar. It raised its other hand, and it gave off earth-shattering power as it slammed down toward Zhao Fu. In that moment, Zhao Fu grabbed out with a hand, and a blood-red orb appeared in his hand. Blood flowed out and formed a thin blood-red sword. Zhao Fu vigorously slashed out, and a massive and sharp blood-red sword light slashed out, chopping off the corpse's hand. The mummy let out a blood-curdling screech and hurriedly retreated. Zhao Fu raised the thin blood-red sword with one hand and vigorously slashed down, sending out a straight blood-red sword light towards the corpse. The skies seemed to be torn apart, and the ground instantly collapsed. This sword seemed to be able to destroy the heavens and earth. Bang! The gigantic mummy was sent flying far away by the sword strike, smashing into the ground and creating a large crater. The mummy did not even have the strength to get up, and its body continuously shrank until it turned back into an old man, lying there heavily injured. Everyone's eyes widened and they gulped. It was the first time they had seen such terrifying power. Was this power something an Emperor Heaven Realm expert could have? Sure, Qianhe and the others were also incredibly shocked. They all had prestigious identities, but Zhao Fu was even more powerful than all of the peerless geniuses they had seen before. This sort of power was suffocating. Chapter 2666. Shui Wuxu and the others were equally shocked. This was the first time they had seen such terrifying power from Zhao Fu. The Blood Warriors all wore serious expressions, thinking that even if all of them joined forces, they still wouldn't be Zhao Fu's opponent. Was this the power of a child of the Source? Sure enough, it was extraordinary. Countless drops of blood shrank back into the blood beads as Zhao Fu said, "Who else?" The surroundings fell silent. Shuigu walked up to Zhao Fu and bowed. "Sir, please follow us to obtain Sir Blood Demon's inheritance." Zhao Fu nodded. Shuigu and the others walked up to the blood door and stretched out their hands. A wave of blood-colored light spread out, and the blood door slowly opened. Shuigu and the others stood to the side, allowing Zhao Fu to enter first. Zhao Fu walked in while the others followed behind Zhao Fu. Inside was a very large, circular room. The walls were made of stone, and there were pillars on the side. The top was also made of stone, and there was a gigantic demon-like passage carved into it. Below the head was a 10-meter-wide blood pool. Shuigu introduced, "Child of the Source, as long as you enter the blood pool, you can obtain Sir Blood Demon's inheritance." Zhao Fu nodded and walked over to the blood pool. Feeling the huge power contained in the blood pool, he was very happy and took out a bottle of blood essence and poured it inside. The blood essence the others had purchased from various places had all been handed over to Zhao Fu, and Zhao Fu planned to pour all of it into the blood pool. Shuigu and the others didn't understand why Zhao Fu was doing this and asked, "Child of the Source, what are you doing?" Zhao Fu turned his head to look at Shuigu, and a huge blood-colored aura poured out from Zhao Fu's body and poured into the bodies of the Blood Warriors. Although the Blood Warriors had pledged allegiance to Zhao Fu, if Zhao Fu didn't control them, he wouldn't fully believe them. As the blood-colored aura poured into their bodies, it transformed into a barrier that none of them resisted. Zhao Fu spoke up, "I want to obtain the legacy in one go and upgrade the first evil immortal bloodline to the 3rd stage." Shuigu had a look of astonishment on his face. "The number 1 evil immortal bloodline? You're the successor of the first evil immortal? The person who grasped the most powerful forbidden art in the chaotic world?" Zhao Fu sighed softly. Just as he was about to take off his clothes and enter the blood pool, he looked at the blood mushroom at the side and revealed an interested smile. After a few hours, Zhao Fu stood up with satisfaction and walked towards the blood pool. The women lay on the ground while the other blood warriors stood guard outside. Shuigu's face was red as she stood up from the ground and watched as Zhao Fu walked into the blood pool. What she was looking forward to the most right now was how Zhao Fu would obtain the Blood Devil's legacy. If Lord Blood Devil's legacy was given to Zhao Fu, he would definitely become extremely terrifying and shake the entire world. Blood Watergrass also stood up shyly. She didn't think that her big brother, Zhao Fu, would treat her like this. Everyone else also stood up. They were also quite concerned about Zhao Fu obtaining the Blood Devil's legacy. As Zhao Fu entered the blood pool started to boil like boiling water. The blood water also became excited because it sensed the aura of Zhao Fu's source blood. After Zhao Fu's body entered the blood pool, countless traces of blood flowed into Zhao Fu's body. Within Zhao Fu's body, countless insects once again appeared, and the blood formed a blood demon. This blood demon had a pair of blood-red wings and a pair of blood-red oxbone horns. It had 3 blood-red eyes that were cold and emotionless, and its skin was blood-red. It was tall and slender, and it had a tail that gave off a dense, bloody smell. In front of Zhao Fu was the blood demon's legacy power. It was far more powerful than the insects that had appeared, and this was the difference between the strong and the weak. This was just the blood demon's legacy power, and it did not have any consciousness. Zhao Fu flew in front of the blood demon, and the blood demon's 3 eyes looked at Zhao Fu as it stretched out a hand toward Zhao Fu. The 2 hands touched, and a blood-red magic formation appeared between their hands, giving off shocking ripples. The blood demon's body started to fuse into Zhao Fu's arm like blood water, and Zhao Fu sensed the powerful blood demon legacy power flowing into his body. Ericina and the others watched as countless traces of blood-red water continuously flowed into Zhao Fu's body, and the amount of blood-red water quickly decreased. Boom! A massive explosion sounded out as Zhao Fu's body gave off a massive attractive force, and the blood demon's fate flooded into Zhao Fu's body. Seeing the fate continuously gather, the people outside the blood-red door did not feel too surprised, and they understood that Zhao Fu had obtained the blood demon legacy. Shurchina sighed and said, "Let's go." The others nodded. They had come for the blood demon legacy, and now that it had been obtained by Zhao Fu, there was no need for them to stay here. The young man with the spiky hair smiled and left. The skinny elder looked at the blood-red door seriously before dragging his heavily injured body to the side. It was already good enough that Zhao Fu had not killed him, and he did not dare to take revenge for Zhao Fu. Within the blood-red door, Zhao Fu had already absorbed all of the blood pool's water into his body, and massive amounts of fate continuously flowed into him. Zhao Fu's body gave off a faint blood-red light, as if he was going through a transformation. Blood Water Grass looked at Zhao Fu, who was sitting at the bottom of the blood pool, excitedly. After Zhao Fu obtained the blood demon legacy, the aura he gave off became much more intimate, and they felt as if Zhao Fu was their family. Bloodwater Grass happily smiled as she asked Ericina, "Just what kind of person is Big Brother?" "You, Big Sister. Can you tell me more about Big Brother?" Ericina looked at Bloodwater Grass's innocent look and lightly laughed as she said, "He treats you like this. Do you still like him?" Bloodwater Grass shyly replied, "I did it of my own free will." Ericina smiled as she said, "I can tell you that he's not a good person. He's even more of a scoundrel than you think." Bloodwater Grass also said, Little sister, he has taken so many of us at once. He's definitely a big scoundrel and has many women by his side." Ericina lightly laughed as she said, "You're right. If you want to know, I don't mind telling you." Following this, Ericina gave a simple explanation of Zhao Fu's true identity. This caused everyone present to feel dumbfounded. Zhao Fu's identity was far more terrifying than they had imagined. In comparison, the fact that Zhao Fu had countless women did not seem too important. Even Bloodwater Grass felt a sense of inferiority as she said, "Will Big Brother abandon us after obtaining us?" Ericina smiled as she said, "You don't have to worry about that. As long as you become his woman, he will treat you well and not let you down." Hearing this, the women all smiled. They were worried that Zhao Fu was the sort of person who would abandon them after playing with them. Boom! By now, a blood-red aura flame appeared around Zhao Fu's body as he refined the bloodline legacy. However, things were not over yet, and Zhao Fu started to refine the insect-beast bloodlines. Chapter 2667. Book 1, Chapter 112. Bloodline. The countless insect-beast bloodlines were quite easy to absorb, and Zhao Fu was able to refine them all in an instant. In the end, the bloodline legacy and the first evil celestial bloodline's third stage were obtained by Zhao Fu. Ericina and the others saw Zhao Fu's body give off boundless blood-red light as heaven and earth power madly flowed into Zhao Fu's body, causing massive ripples to spread out. Outside the blood demon historical remnant, countless blood-red clouds gathered, forming a blood-red cloud layer that covered the sky. It gave off a massive might, and the air was filled with the stench of blood, making people feel quite uncomfortable. The people in the surroundings did not know what was going on, and they looked at the sky in shock. Afterwards, they found out from the people in the blood demon historical remnant that the powerful blood demon legacy had been obtained by someone, and it was someone with a terrifying identity. Countless traces of blood power condensed in the sky, forming the blood demon's massive figure, and it gave off a terrifying aura. Roar! The blood demon gave a massive roar, and the sound waves turned into wild gales that spread out, causing a massive wave of power to spread out. Everyone's expressions fell, and they felt that the blood within their bodies was about to fly out. They hurriedly used their power to suppress the blood within their bodies as they thought to themselves, for the blood demon legacy to cause such terrifying phenomena. The blood demon's power must have been incredibly shocking back then. As heaven and earth power flowed in, Zhao Fu's transformation was complete. However, there was not much of a change, and there was just an additional bloody aura. Zhao Fu opened his eyes and sensed the power within his body, and a trace of a smile appeared on his face. The women from the blood demon tree bowed and called out in unison, "Lord Blood Demon." Now that Zhao Fu had obtained the blood demon legacy, he was the new blood demon, and the women treated Zhao Fu as their master. Zhao Fu did not respond to this form of address. He came up from the blood lake, put on his clothes, and asked, "Are there any treasures left behind by the blood demon?" Shuigu said, "Lord Blood Demon, please come with us. That place can only be opened with legacy power." Following this, Zhao Fu followed Shuigu and the others to the stone door. Zhao Fu stretched out his hand and pressed it on the stone door. Countless amounts of blood flowed out from Zhao Fu's palm and covered the stone door. After that, the stone door quickly opened. Countless blood-colored lights shot out, filled with all sorts of blood-type treasures. Zhao Fu gave them a cursory glance, but did not find any bronze shards. This caused Zhao Fu to feel somewhat disappointed. Stretching out a hand, Zhao Fu made a grabbing motion and a fist-sized, 12-sided blood crystal flew into his hand. Among the many treasures, the aura that this blood crystal gave off was the strongest. It was most likely the most valuable. After examining the blood crystal, Zhao Fu obtained information about it. This was a blood demon nest stone that could nurture a large number of blood attribute monsters. The monsters nurtured had the ability to devour blood. Not only were they powerful, but they were also extremely difficult to kill. Most importantly, they could be nurtured in large quantities using blood. If there was enough blood, it would not be a problem to nurture hundreds of millions of blood demons in a year. Zhao Fu wanted to let the desolate gods use this blood demon nest stone. The desolate gods were godly spirits that had followed Zhao Fu for a long time. They were also godly spirits that stayed in Qin City like the other light goddesses and darkness goddesses. They did not go to the Pantheon Temple and were considered to be the older generation of godly spirits. The other godly spirits in the Pantheon Temple had only been subdued by Zhao Fu when he went to the God Realm. The desolate gods themselves were of the blood attribute, and their desolate blood power was extremely powerful. They could also nurture blood god monsters. Those blood god monsters were also terrifying, but because of their numbers, they were not very useful. Zhao Fu was looking forward to what kind of amazing changes would occur when the two powers fused. This was something from the primal chaos world, and Zhao Fu had to change the rules within it before it could be used by the desolate gods. As for the other treasures, Zhao Fu did not look at them and casually put them away. After walking outside, Zhao Fu smiled and said, "Come with me and leave this place." The women smiled and nodded. Everyone left the blood demon ruins and came outside. The Lan Banyuan brothers looked quite surprised as they saw that not only were there many beautiful women around Zhao Fu, but there were also 10 or so guards giving off powerful auras. The two brothers were quite surprised at Zhao Fu's abilities. Zhao Fu had been worried that Ericina would be in danger and had come to find him. Now that it was time to go back, the others should be quite anxious. Everyone hurried on with their journey, not stopping for even a moment. A day or so later, Zhao Fu returned to his original place. Seeing that Zhao Fu had returned, the women relaxed, and painted eyebrows threw herself into Zhao Fu's embrace. Her eyes wet as she said, "Why were you gone for so long? We were worried to death." Zhao Fu smiled and said, "Nothing much. I just went to explore a ruin." Feng Xinsha looked at the women from the blood abyssal tree and snorted lightly. "Next time, I won't worry about you." Zhao Fu chuckled and had the blood warriors stand guard outside. A few hours later, everyone lay on the ground and looked at the 12 bright moons in the sky. Feng Xinsha's face was rosy as she lay in Zhao Fu's arms, while painted eyebrows lay on the other side. Feng Xinsha said softly, "I feel that we can't separate like before." Zhao Fu nodded in. "I'm quite worried that something will happen to you this time, so I won't let you leave alone in the future." Before, Zhao Fu had a plan, which was to subdue some powerful people and have them buy essence blood from various places. Now, it seemed that he would have to give up on this plan. Zhao Fu did not want anything to happen to his women. Ericina asked, "How do you plan to collect essence blood?" Breaking through to the third stage of the evil immortal bloodline already requires tens of thousands of essence blood. How many essence blood do you need for the fourth stage, fifth stage, and sixth stage? Zhao Fu thought about it and said, "Now that we have the blood demon's essence blood, the fourth stage can be reached with just over 10,000 essence blood. Next, we might need 100,000, hundreds of thousands, or even 1,000,000 essence blood. I feel that we won't be able to collect it on our own, and we can only rely on a few very powerful forces in the chaotic world. Let's wait and see if there are any other ways." Ericina replied, "And we've been out for a long time this time." Zhao Fu had come to the chaotic world to solve the problem of the insect beasts, but now that they had come to the central region of the chaotic world, it had been a few months. Zhao Fu was not too worried about Qin's affairs because the others would manage it well. Back at Qin's base in the chaotic world, Xueji called out in dissatisfaction. "Why isn't Master back yet? Didn't he say that he was just going to look for insect beasts? If I had known, I would have gone with him." Hong Mei nodded with a red face. Sun Hanxiang lightly laughed as she said, "Let's just obediently guard this place. His Majesty must have something important to do, or else he would have come back long ago." Feng Ji gave a demonic smile as she said, "When Master comes back, he'll make it up to us." Now you're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.